Today, the Vol Navy cruises along an unfamiliar river, the Allegheny in Pittsburgh, where Tennessee is going to play its first football game ever in the state of Pennsylvania against the Pitt Panthers, hosting an SEC team for the first time. It's the Johnny Majors Classic, named in honor of the legendary late coach who led both of these programs with distinction. He was also a Hall of Fame player at the University of Tennessee. This is the ACC on ESPN, and welcome everyone to ESPN's College Football on ABC, presented by Arby's on a very pleasant day in downtown Pittsburgh. Sean McDonough, along with Todd Blackledge, delighted to have you with us. This is the second Johnny Majors Classic. They played last year in Knoxville. A very exciting game, won by Pittsburgh 41-34. What do you look for in this matchup?
Similar. It's an intriguing matchup, right? With Tennessee, it's an explosive, exciting offense with their head coach Josh Heupel. Pittsburgh, hard-nosed, physical, disruptive defense, kind of the MO of a Pat Narduzzi team. It's going to be that kind of game again.
One of the best matchups of the weekend. Both teams ranked in the top 25. Pittsburgh won the toss and deferred. So Tennessee elected to take the ball, and Pittsburgh will kick off. It's Ben Sauls who will kick it away for the Panthers. Very little breeze in this stadium on this natural grass field. Good kick, and no chance to return it for Jimmy Holiday. So here comes the high-flying Volunteer offense, led by Hendon Hooker in his 6th year in college football. Was in the Virginia Tech program for 4 years, then transferred to Tennessee and became their starter in week 3. Took over from Joe Milton, who was injured in that loss to Pittsburgh. And what a year Hooker had. 31 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Set the single season Tennessee record for completion percentage, for passing efficiency. Those 3 interceptions, fewest in the country among the 72 quarterbacks who threw at least 300 passes. He checks it down to Jabari Small, and he's dropped for an 0 gain by M.J. Devonshire, one of the heroes of their win against West Virginia. Had the pick 6 that gave them the late lead. Hooker throws quickly off the hands of his intended target and incomplete. Looking for their best receiver, one of the best in the country, Cedric Tillman.
Tillman only had 1 catch for 20 yards when these two teams met in Knoxville last year, trying to get him involved early. Right away you see the tempo, the speed Tennessee likes to play with.
And they spread receivers from sideline to sideline. 2 to each side here. Jabari Small, the running back, in this Pitt crowd, into it early.
This is when Pitt's defense shines. 3rd and long.
Time for Hooker, and the long pass incomplete. Too far out in front of Jalen Hyatt, who had Eric Hallett, an excellent safety, running in single coverage.
When you play up-tempo offense, you have to make plays. You have to convert first downs. This is good protection. They kept the back end to help. Hooker just a little errant with the throw, and that's a fast 3 and out because of that tempo of their offense.
26 seconds, and the punter Paxton Brooks on the field. 5th-year senior, 3rd year as their starting punter, and not a great kick. Lands along their sideline, the far sideline, and this SEC officiating crew spots it at the 45. So here comes Keaton Slovis, like Hooker, a transfer. He started his college career at USC. It was a great start. He was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year in 19. Led them to the conference championship game in 20. The last year supplanted as the starter by Jackson Dart. And in December, he decided to transfer here to Pittsburgh, and he takes over for Kenny Pickett, who was the starting quarterback last year when they won the ACC title, was a Heisman finalist, and a 1st-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big shoes to fill for Slovis. He played well in the win against West Virginia in his Panther debut. He handed it off to Israel Abanikanda for a gain of 3. Jeremy Banks the stop.
Slovis is very happy and comfortable here. When he made the decision to come to Pittsburgh, it was really all on Pat Narduzzi. They didn't have an offensive coordinator. They didn't have a quarterback coach hired yet, but he was convinced that Pat Narduzzi would treat him well, give him a good shot. He liked the fit culturally with the way the team seemed with each other. And so far, it's been a good mix between the two of them.
They played a much slower pace than does Tennessee, but then again, everybody does. A nice slant caught by Jared Wayne for a first down to the Tennessee 44. You mentioned no coordinator and quarterback coach at the time, but Keaton Slovis told us yesterday he leaned very heavily on Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
He said what they talk about at Pitt, culture, it's real. Guys care about football. They practice hard. They play hard. It means a lot to them. And Pickett's endorsement of this program had a lot to do with Keaton coming here. After the play fake, he dropped it off, bobbled, and then caught. Gavin Bartholomew, the big tight end, inside the 31-yard line. They'll spot it on the 30 and another. Pittsburgh first down.
Really nice job of Slovis hanging in there. Kamal Haddon was coming in on the blitz. He hung in there, slung it out kind of sideways, and made an accurate throw, knowing he was going to get hit in the mouth. And a nice drive here so far for Pitt. They started the game last week with big personnel, extra offensive linemen. Just about every play in the first quarter come out much differently with 3 wide receivers in this game.
And without Rodney Hammond, who was their leading rusher in the opener, he has an ankle injury, and that play dropped for a loss. A quick pass to Jalen Barton, and he's dumped immediately by Tamarian McDonald, part of a strong secondary for Tennessee.
Should also mention someone else Pitt's playing without here in addition to Hammond on their offense. One of their best offensive linemen, Gabe Hoy, their right tackle, did not play last week. It's out again this week. The offensive line for Pitt was considered one of their real strengths. They returned all starters, and Hoy was one of the real leaders. He's backed up by Gonzalez, who's in there right now in his place at right tackle.
He's experienced. Today is his 10th career start. Veteran offensive line that brought back all 5 starters from their championship team of the year ago. Here's Jared Wayne with a first down. And out of bounds near the 15-yard line. Impressive opening possession for Keaton Slovis and the Pitt Panthers.
Now, great protection. I mean, Slovis is able to scan the field, read the whole route, and he finds his underneath crossing route in Jared Wayne, a very dependable target at 6'3", 215 pounds. It has a couple other receivers that were transfers that are new to the program. Jared Wayne is one of those veteran Pitt players.
3.5 minutes in, Pittsburgh on the move. The play fake by Slovis, and he slides down after a short gain. Not the fastest runner, but effective when he needs to be. He was chased down by Kamal Haddon, who's starting at cornerback today for Tennessee.
Slovis is picking up right where he left off last week. I mean, he left some plays out there against West Virginia, took a few sacks, but when they needed him the most, 92-yard drive, 5 for 5, including the game-winning touchdown at the end. And he's off to a fast start again here today.
Like Hooker, very accurate passer. He's on target, and it's dropped. Donate Mumfield, a transfer from Akron, dropped it.
Yeah, he was looking to the end zone too soon. I mean, it was a good throw. He didn't secure the catch. He got his eyes off the ball and towards the goal line. Ended up bringing up third down with the incompletion.
They're trying to replace not only Pickett, but Jordan Addison, who won the Biletnikoff Award as the best receiver in the country. He caught 100 balls last year for Pitt. He transferred to USC. Big drop. It's third down and 7. Lots of time, and now running out of it, Slovis. Fires to the back of the end zone, and it is caught, but out of bounds. Mumfield held on to that one, but he was well beyond the back line to the end zone, and the field goal team will come out.
That's a good stop by the Tennessee defense. Slovis extended the play. Nice job by the safety McCullough, number 2, just kind of forcing the receiver to the back line. The ball's thrown out of bounds.
So here's Ben Sauls, who lost the battle last year to be their field goal kicker to Sam Scarton. He won it in this preseason. and made his only kick against West Virginia from 42. This one's good from 30. Nice start for Pat Narduzzi and the Pitt Panthers. There are some very heavy hearts here in Pittsburgh and around college football today with the news early this morning that Frank Cignetti Sr. has passed away at the age of 84. Legendary coach in this part of the country in particular. Started his head coaching career at West Virginia, where he took over for Bobby Bowden, for whom he served as an assistant, but had tremendous success at his alma mater, IUP, where he was an All-American player. Returned to win 182 games as a head coach, and fittingly in the College Football Hall of Fame. Inducted in 2013. And Molly, it's a story that hits extremely close to home. And I know you had a chance to talk to Frank Cignetti Jr. this morning, their offensive coordinator here at Pitt.
Yeah, Frank Cignetti Jr. was emotional but in good spirits when I spoke with him before the game. He said there's no question about whether or not he would coach today, saying my dad would want me to coach and keep my promise to these players. Cignetti learned the news of his father's passing at 11:11 this morning, right before their team walked through. So he spoke to the team, made them aware of the news, and they celebrated the life of Frank Cignetti Sr. during their team mass, Sean.
Well, we share in the sadness and in the celebration. We had the pleasure of knowing Frank Cignetti Sr., a wonderful man. Hendon Hooker's pass is incomplete through the hands of Princeton Fant, one of their tight ends.
I spoke to him on the field before the game too, and he was just saying how thankful he was for Pat Narduzzi. Said he didn't know Pat, but Pat called him out of the blue. He was coaching at BC, offered him the opportunity to move back, his family back. This is his third stint on a staff at Pittsburgh, and it couldn't have been a better timing to come back and be around his mom and dad at this time of their lives.
Hooker pulls it down and goes nowhere. Well, Frank Cignetti Jr. had the great honor of playing for his dad at IUP, for coaching for him there. They were extremely close. Frank Jr. tweeting out this morning, "You're my hero." He had a chance to spend time with his dad yesterday. Coach Cignetti Sr. had a stroke back in February, fell into ill health in the last week or so, and had been on hospice care the last few days. Here comes a blitz, and Hooker goes down. Got across the line of scrimmage, so it won't be a sack. Pitt had 5 sacks in their victory in Knoxville last year. Nate Temple leading the charge.
When Pitt gets you 3rd and long, that's when they're exotic. They're pretty vanilla on 1st and 2nd down, but on 3rd down, they go 3 down linemen. But they have a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, and they can bring pressure from all over the place. And they force another punt.
By Paxton Barnes, excellent punter, an academic All-American, 3.92 GPA in kinesiology. A fair catch made by Mumfield on a 50-yard punt. Couple of 3 and outs for Tennessee, and a field goal on their first opportunity for Pittsburgh.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
This is the second Johnny Majors Classic, named for the great coach at both Pittsburgh and Tennessee. Got his first head coaching opportunity at these 2 schools, at Pitt. And he inherited a program that were 1-10 in 1972. Immediately was a winner. And as you saw, in his 4th and final year of his first stint here at Pitt, he won the national championship, an undefeated season, led by the Heisman Trophy winner Tony Dorsett, who, as we saw, looks like he could still play. Huge haul. Israel Abanikanda. They cannot get him. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 76 yards. Reminiscent of Tony Dorsett in 1976. Longest run of his career for Abanikanda, junior from Brooklyn, who was a standout sprinter. Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, and showed that sprinter speed there. Ben Sauls on for the extra point. And it is good. And a great start for the underdog Panthers on their home field today, leading 10-0.
Watch this block by right guard Jake Cradle. That's the first block, and then as you get down the field and Abanikanda gets into the secondary, watch the wide receiver right here. Watch this block by Bumfield. He dropped the pass in the first possession, gets a key block there, and then the speed takes him to the end zone. Last week, Pitt was disappointed with the way their offensive line played, disappointed with how they ran the football. This can correct a lot of problems with a play like this. Sean, remember last year in Knoxville, it was Tennessee that jumped out to a 10-0 lead in the first quarter. This year, it's Pittsburgh. TD loves it.
Well, the great players in Pitt history, obviously Tony Dorsett, and they've had a lot of great players. Israel Abanikanda, a career-long run.
215 pounds. He's got power, but he's also got track sprinter speed, which he showed on that play. Again, 2 quick 3-and-outs by the Tennessee offense. And their defense gets gashed on that play.
And Sauls with the touchback. So here's the third possession for Tennessee, still looking for its first down. They can score in a hurry, nearly 40 points per game last year under Josh Heupel. We mentioned Pittsburgh, the underdog. You know, Pat Narduzzi, a proud son of Youngstown, Ohio, he kind of lives life with a chip on his shoulder. Fun guy to be around. And when we asked him yesterday, you know, what's the extra motivation this one, he said, we're an underdog.
Right.
On our home field. We beat them last year. We're on our home field. We're a higher ranked team.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
This team is aware of their status in that regard entering today's game. Coach Narduzzi was going to make sure that he knew. Last year he was railing against ESPN, and in some part with good reason. After our network reported 75% of the fans who were going to be at the Backyard Brawl here would be West Virginia fans. That turned out not to be true. And then Hooker has the first down out to the 40-yard line. Goes the 6th-year, 24-year-old quarterback, oldest starting quarterback ever at Tennessee. And they go quickly. And they sling it deep in single coverage. We'll see a lot of that today. And this one, won by M.J. Devonshire, who had the coverage on Cedric Tillman.
All 3 of the corners that we'll see for Pitt are undersized compared to these Tennessee receivers, but that ball was thrown too far to the inside. Devonshire was in perfect position and was able to knock it away. They're not real big, but they are feisty, and they believe in themselves because they get put on islands to play so much man coverage, and they're ready for it.
They will face a lot of deep shots no matter who the opponent is because of that single coverage. There's Jalen Wright as their leading rusher in the opener against Ball State with 88 yards. They hammered Ball State 59-10. They snap it quickly on 3rd down. The slant to Tillman. First down Vols to the Pittsburgh 45-yard line.
They went without a substitution on that 3rd down play, Sean, so they kept 4-man defensive front in for Pitt and got great protection.
Spotted it on the 46. Hooker, flag thrown in the middle of the offensive line. Hooker spun ahead for 12 and what would be a first down. The referee is Jason Autry, leading this SEC crew.
During the run, holding, offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Devontae Spraggins, the right guard, part of a veteran Tennessee line.
There it is, right as Baldonado was trying to turn to make a play. He got grabbed. Tennessee had some momentum. Hendon Hooker, slow start, but pretty good on this possession. Shows his toughness when he runs the football, too. He's not a real big guy, but he will take some shots and keep fighting. It's fun to see a guy like this. I mean, you said 24 years old. He had some success at Virginia Tech. Had a great year last
penalty
year.
is correct. It's first down.
And he's the best version of himself right now. Right? They expect him to be even better this year because he has a full grasp of Josh Heupel's offense. He's comfortable with his teammates. He's comfortable as a leader on this team. They expect him to just play even better as Tennessee tries to improve on the success they had a year ago.
After the play fake, a pump and an incomplete pass, threw it into a crowd for Jacob Warren, the tight end. He had the best game of his career last year against Pitt. 5 catches for 55 yards, a career-long 34-yarder, and a touchdown. They don't throw it a lot to the tight ends. The handoff to Jalen Wright, breaks a tackle, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets to the 41-yard line of Pittsburgh, 5 yards short of the first down. Shane Simon among those Pitt Panthers who whiffed.
It was really a good call by offensive coordinator Alex Golich because Brandon Hill, the safety, was going out to cover and left that area void for the run.
Tight formation. And Wright stuffed on 3rd down and 5, and a decision for Josh Heupel on 4th down and 3 from the Pitt 39, down 10-0 with 6.5 to go in the opening quarter. They're going to go for it, not in field goal range.
Watch for the tight end coming in motion to the wide side of the field, try to get him the ball quickly.
They send Jalen Wright out in motion. Not going quickly here. Wanting to make sure they have the right play call. Slant, incomplete. Off the hands of Cedric Tillman. A.J. Woods had the coverage. And Pittsburgh takes over on downs.
This will go down as a stop for Pittsburgh, but it's a drop by Cedric Tillman. This is a good throw. Ball's got to be caught. Instead, Pitt gets the football back.
She's a lotus and I'm the conductor of a magnum opus. Simply braggadocious. Why don't we take advantage of this moment and wherever.
Aerial coverage high above downtown Pittsburgh, provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. A view from the AT&T 5G Skycam. Lots of orange-clad volunteer fans on the road. Here in Pittsburgh, their team down 10-0. Here's Jared Wayne into Vols territory. And down at the 43-yard line in the arms of Jeremy Banks. It was Aaron Beasley who put pressure on Slovis.
Second time in the ball game we've seen Slovis read the blitz and hang in there with toughness and get rid of the football accurately, knowing he's got a free rusher on him. That makes a defensive coordinator a little bit hesitant of calling that blitz if the quarterback is seeing it and making plays against it that easily.
The pass batted down, and it is caught by the tight end, Gavin Bartholomew. And it's a gain to the 36-yard line. They picked up 7.
Caught by the offense. Result of the play is 2nd down.
And Bartholomew was actually staying in to block. He was not on a pass route, but unlike an offensive lineman, he can catch that ball. It picks up a few extra yards, and it's 2nd and short.
Jeremy Banks, the active hands. He's a linebacker. He almost ran down at Banakanda on that touchdown run. Outstanding players. Banks, preseason all Southeastern Conference. Good fake again by Slovis, looking for Mumfield in single coverage, and a flag is thrown on Tamarian McDonald.
McDonald was in good position. It was going to take a really perfect throw, but right there the hand just kind of prevents the receiver from making a play on the football. He's in good position. If he makes a play on the football, it won't be a penalty, but he plays through the receiver. Progressive pylon cam gave us a great look at that.
Donald got their season off to a great start in the opener against Ball State. He had an interception on the first play from scrimmage in that game. Ball State tried to run a flea flicker. McDonald picked it off and it led to a touchdown on the first offensive play by Tennessee.
A little different start today against a much different opponent.
Indeed. Slovis throws it away. Slovis, as we mentioned, an accurate passer. He started his career at USC.
The tackle box, the pass landed beyond line of scrimmage. Second down.
Jason not to determine have a lot of airtime today, and that's fine. We will compete for it if need be. At USC in his 26 career starts, he completed 68% of his passes.
And 72% his freshman year, which is, you know, almost unheard of to be that accurate, that efficient in your first year of playing college football. There's Kurt Warner, great quarterback, was his high school football coach in Arizona.
Another batted ball, and it flutters incomplete. There is a flag down in the secondary.
Looks kind of like they're saying offensive pass interference, but the ball was deflected. Let's see what we have.
There's no foul for pass interference. The ruling is the ball was tipped.
Yep.
Third down on the incomplete pass.
Gerard Garland with the tip. And he comes out of the game on this third down play. 3rd and 10. Just under 4.5 to go first quarter. It's been all Pittsburgh against a Tennessee team that was the best in the country in the first quarter last year. In total points for first quarter and in first quarter point differential. Slovis, end zone, intercepted. Trayvon Flowers, after it went off the hands of Bub Means. There is a flag down at the 13-yard line along the near numbers.
Outstanding play by Flowers. Here's the call.
There is no foul for defensive holding. The result of the play is an interception. First down for Tennessee at the 20-yard line.
And a good job by Aaron Beasley, kind of pulling back on that hit on the quarterback. Watch number 24 just kind of pull back a little bit, led with the shoulder. And then Flowers showing his athleticism in the back of the end zone off the tip pass. Slovis put that where you want. You give your receiver a chance. Usually if you throw it high in the back of the end zone, it's either going to be your guy catches it or nobody does. That time the ball was tipped up in the air. Trayvon Flowers comes down with the interception.
His first of this season, his 4th career interception for the senior from Atlanta. Veteran starter in their secondary. It's his 27th career start. He and Jalen McCullough, long-time excellent duo. Although for all their talents, it's a Tennessee defense that was 99th in the country in total defense last year. They're going to take the next step beyond a 7-win season of a year ago when Josh Heupel's first. They need to get better on defense.
You know, one thing they did really well, they set a school record for tackles for loss, so they were disruptive, but they were terrible on third down. One of the worst in the country. They couldn't get off the field, so they had to run too many plays defensively. That's really where they've got to improve this year. That was a good third down stop.
Hooker to Jalen Hyatt for 6 on first down. Now Jalen Wright doing all he can for a hard-earned yard. Devin Danielson the stop for Pitt. Under Josh Heupel, they've scored a first quarter touchdown in all 14 of their games. They're running out of time in this first quarter. Devin Danielson is the injured player for Pitt. Last year, Tennessee averaged 14.6 points per game in the first quarter. That was almost 4 points per game better than anybody else in the country. They've started quickly under Heupel. Not today. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, time now for our Mayhem moment brought to you by Allstate. We go to South Bend. Uh-oh, Boog. Here comes Marshall. 20-point dogs on the road.
Yeah, that Notre Dame defense not playing to the same level as they did last week against Ohio State.
Kalen LeBourne in the end zone. It is Marshall, the Thundering Herd, up 9-7 at the half. Back to you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you.
You know, Danielson is one of their veteran defensive linemen, a fifth-year senior, already playing today without Deslin Alexander, another one of their veteran guys. Alexander, an outside defensive end, Danielson, an inside defensive tackle, and just from a depth standpoint and rotating and getting, you know, fewer reps for your defensive linemen, it could be a second guy down for this Pitt defensive front. Deslin Alexander, he's in uniform, he's not going to play, but a very vocal leader, kind of a coach on the field, trying to coach his guys up here on a third down situation.
Some of the numbers that we mentioned from the first quarter a year ago. This is unusual for Tennessee in a season plus under Heupel. Can they keep this possession going on 3rd down and 3 from their own 27? No pressure. Hooker has his man, first down out near midfield. Goes Cedric Tillman, swung down by the safety Brandon Hill.
We're so used to seeing the wide splits. This time they brought Tillman in a tight split and ran the out route, so there was a lot of room to make that throw and catch.
A good play fake and a completion to Tillman to the 45-yard line. They're going to pick up the pace here. They'll mark it at the 46. 2nd down and 3, under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hooker under duress.
Well, he's slippery. You know, I mean, it looked like they were going to get him for a loss of yardage. He avoids a couple tacklers and he gets another first down. And Tennessee with good momentum right now on this drive. And they've got Tillman involved and active in their offense.
Hooker's pass caught a little bit behind his receiver. Brew McCoy, the transfer from USC, he made a catch for about 7 more. On the clock on your screen, we're going to keep track of how quickly they go from the tackle to the snap, but there's another injured player. It's Tyler Bentley, who's a backup defensive tackle. Another veteran player, 5th-year senior from Westchester, Ohio. Tonight on ABC, a lot of the former Trojans in this game might be watching USC. 7:30 Eastern time on the road in Palo Alto against Stanford. 101st meeting all time. USC a nice debut for Lincoln Riley last week. They hammered Rice 66-14. It was Stanford over Colgate 41-10. You throw out the records when they get together.
Well, and you hear so many coaches that we talk about culture, how important culture is. And now you've got Lincoln Riley going to USC, and they bring in 24, 25 transfers, one of them being Jordan Addison, who was the great receiver for Pitt a year ago, 100 catches, won the Biletnikoff Award. But winning helps your culture, you know. But when you bring that many new players in, you know, that's a challenge, getting everybody on the same page.
And here in Pittsburgh, Todd, you referenced earlier Deslin Alexander, excellent defensive end, not playing today. He's one of their captains, a 2-time captain. They felt like they still had enough depth.
Yeah.
Without him, as long as they didn't have to play 95 or 100 plays. Well, now they've already lost Danielson, Molly, and it's another player, Bentley, limping off the field.
Yeah, Sean, you saw Devin Danielson walking off gingerly. When he left the medical tent, he yelled out in pain when he put weight on his left leg and said to athletic training staff, "I can't put any weight on it," and he shook his head. So not looking good for Pitt as the injuries just keep piling up.
You know, some of these Tennessee fans, I think, were booing, thinking they were trying to slow the tempo down with a fake injury. I don't think it was a fake injury.
No.
They are down a couple defensive linemen.
Well, now the depth is a concern, particularly against this fast-paced Tennessee offense that tries to wear you down, even when you're at full strength. Jalen Wright very close to the first down marker.
It's really fun to watch and study them on film. The wide splits, you just don't see too many teams that put their wide receivers outside the numbers like Tennessee does. They really want to stretch your defense and take people away from the box.
They count the box. And when it's favorable to run, they run. And they just ran for a first down with Jalen Wright, tackled by Servassier Dennis, one of their captains, who was second team all-conference a year ago.
See, they stretch your defense with their formations, and then they stress your defense with their speed and their tempo.
Hooker just did get it off, has a man open, and it is out of bounds. Jalen Hyatt, the receiver, he caught it, but deemed to be out of bounds along the near sideline.
The ball was fading him to the sideline. He makes the catch, but he doesn't get the foot down. Good call by the officials. The right foot came down clearly in the white. And it's just because the ball faded him too far outside. He had separation. As a progressive pylon cam, we take the last look at it. There's the right foot out of bounds. And a near miss for Hendon Hooker.
So it's 2nd and 10. Under a minute and a half to go in the opening quarter. Pop pass down the middle. Jacob Warren into the end zone. But did he go down before he got there? They're going to spot him down just shy of the goal line. Brandon Hill able to wrestle him down, at least for the moment. It's not a touchdown.
This play hurt Pitt last year. In fact, Tennessee scored a touchdown on it in Knoxville.
Up the middle, Small has the Tennessee score. And that streak continues. They've scored a first quarter touchdown now in all 15 games under Josh Heupel.
Great play call on the throw to the tight end. It fooled the Pittsburgh defense. Great play fake by Hooker. Watch it affect these two guys. The tight end's going to slip right through there, but the safety and the linebacker got their eyes in the backfield, and they lose track of the tight end. So excellent execution, and then they lined up quickly and got the touchdown run by Small.
Chase McGrath, another USC transfer, adds the extra point. Jabari Small, the leading rusher from last season. He went for just under 800 yards as the first touchdown of the game, capping an 80-yard drive in 11 plays. Big interception. Boy, Pitt had a chance to take a 17-0 lead. That one could be a game turner. Hooker was 5 out of 6 on that touchdown drive. 64 yards, and then Small punched it in. He had one in the opener against Ball State. Time for the Aflac trivia question. Johnny Majors won a national title here at Pittsburgh in 1976 and then left to become Tennessee's head coach. He said it was the hardest decision he ever had to make. We want to know who are the other head coaches who left the program following the national championship. I assume we mean Josh Hoffman, the arbiter of all things Aflac, immediately after. Immediately after. And Josh tells us there are 2 of them. Our telecast today on ABC, produced by Josh Hoffman, directed by Scott Johnson. Very pleasant day here in the Steel City. Temperature in the mid-70s. Partly cloudy skies. The sun's been in and out. And here's the kickoff by Paxton Brooks. Vincent Davis brings it back, and he gets stopped in his tracks at the 17-yard line by James Pierce. They were salty on special teams a year ago, and that continues in 2022. Here's the answer. You want to guess before we reveal the answer?
No, I don't want to guess on this one.
Come on now, academic All-American. Howard Schnellenberger left Miami, and Tom Osborne retired. So Johnny Majors, the only one who left to go to another program, and it was the call of his alma mater. Had it not been Tennessee, he said many times he would not have gone. He had a 16-year run there, and then came back here to Pitt to finish his head coaching career. Abanikanda to the 21, a gain of 4. Here's Kevin.
Sean, reminding you, we have a big Saturday on the ESPN family of networks over on ESPN. The U.S. Open Women's Final currently going on. ESPN2, Texas A&M at home down to Appalachian State. ACC Network featuring Clemson in control, up 21-3 on the SEC Network. Number 3, Georgia in action. Back to you.
Lots of great college football today, including that wild Alabama win at Texas on a last-second field goal. Slovis hit as he threw. He got it to Bartholomew, who got swung down short of the line to gain by about a yard. It was Aaron Beasley, the blitzing linebacker, who put another hit on Slovis, who's taken a pounding here in the first quarter.
But 3 times they've had a free rusher. He's seen it, he's recognized it, and he's delivered the ball accurately in the face of the blitz.
Like last year in Knoxville, an entertaining first quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Bell Live Ma student sections across the country continue to be the Live Ma student section of the year all season long. That Panther pit got out to a good start with Taco Bell competition. They turned out in a big way against West Virginia in the backyard brawl, which came back the first time in 11 years and was another classic. Israel Abanikanda on 3rd down and 1 has a Pitt first down on the first play of the second quarter. The Panthers on top 10-7. Molly.
Well, Sean, Pitt defensive lineman Tyler Bentley spent a long time in the medical tent. He came out of the medical tent, jogged back and forth on the sideline and looks pretty good, and joined his teammates and gave them a thumbs up and said, "I'm good to go."
And they'll need him. Tennessee, even with the sputtering start, is on a pace for 108 offensive plays. A ridiculously high number. The Pitt offense will try to be methodical and keep the defense off the field. Slovis under pressure threw it away in the general direction of Jaden Bradley. The heat came from Byron Young, the senior, 24 years old, out of Georgetown, South Carolina.
Yeah, Byron Young uses his quickness and strength to get around again not the normal starting right tackle. And Gonzalez just burst by Byron Young. Great story, kind of a self-made player, and enjoying a fine end to his career.
Started last year, at the end of the year, at Georgia Military College, once an assistant general manager of a Dollar General store. Good throw by Slovis. He got walloped again on the delivery, but got it off to Jared Wayne. Latrell Bumpus provided the bump to the quarterback, and Jalen McCullough made the tackle for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he had to get rid of it. Bumpus was unblocked. Carter Warren, their left tackle, had to go inside to take the nearest defender. And again, Slovis throwing under duress with accuracy. Pretty impressive.
And he's tough. They told us, the coaches did, Frank Signetti and Pat Narduzzi. They like his toughness. He arrived in January, won his teammates over immediately to the point where they have voted him just months on campus one of the 4 team captains. That meant a lot to him. He faces a blitz. He gets hit again, but got it to Bartholomew. The tight end up and over and in to the end zone. Touchdown, Pitt.
Unbelievable, just unbelievable effort by Bartholomew, and Keaton Slovis again throwing under duress. Tennessee choosing to blitz the quarterback. The linebacker Jeremy Banks got lost in coverage, and then Trayvon Flowers got hurdled by a very athletic tight end, Gavin Bartholomew.
Thank goodness, I'll say so. 6'5", 255 pounds. Ben Sauls tacks on the extra point. It's a 57-yard reception, longest of his career.
Frank Signetti told us they wanted to get the ball to Bartholomew more than they did in week 1. That's a big play right there by the big man.
Aerial coverage above Acrisure Stadium. That's going to take some getting used to. Provided by Goodyear. Road tested and game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. Well, they told us the senior from Scottsdale, Arizona was tough, and he's demonstrated that toughness. Slovis hanging in there, getting belted regularly. He was 3 for 5 on the touchdown drive and put the lead back to 10 for Pitt. Here's Jimmy Holiday. Nice return out to the 29-yard line.
Well, obviously, defensive coordinator Tim Banks wanted to go after the quarterback, thinking they could rattle him. Slovis has taken some hits, but the hits have gotten there a hair too late. He's hung in there. He's made accurate throws. This was the last one for the touchdown to Bartholomew. 9 for 15, 139 yards, but about 5 completions of those 9 was with a free rusher where he knew he was going to get hit, hangs in there, makes a tough throw, and takes the hit.
And getting work done on his throwing hand. So you might have a cut. Tyler Bentley, who was injured earlier for Pitt, is back in the game along the defensive line. Hooker on first down. Checked it down to Princeton Fant, one of their tight ends, the cousin of Noah Fant, now with the Seahawks. Got 8 on first down.
Good decision. That was a zone defense by Pitt, and Hooker recognized it.
2 receivers wide each side. Another missed tackle and a first down for the Vols. Cedric Tillman. They'll mark him out at the 44-yard line.
Tennessee likes to do that a lot. And with those wide splits, if you just put 2 defenders out there, they're going to throw quick screens. And if you miss a tackle and you have 1 blocker, it can turn into a big play.
Design roll. Hooker was missed and did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Solomon DeShields, a backup linebacker, had a chance to get him and did, but Tyler Wiltz did.
I think he was going to throw this a throw back, but the pressure was there so quickly that he had to try to run it and gain something. Ended up losing the yard.
On second down, looked like a design quarterback draw. And Hooker's just shy of midfield. He rushed for 49 yards last year against Pittsburgh on 9 carries. Third down and 5 for Josh Heupel in Tennessee. He's involved in the play calling, but Alex Golesh, the offensive coordinator, calls the bulk of the plays. And this is a big one.
Pitt showing a 4-man rush, not showing additional pressure at this point. You've got 5 offensive linemen to block 4 plus the back.
And Golesh's point last night, we want to go fast, but in big situations, it's more important to get the right play. They took their time. Is it the right play? Yes, first down. Cedric Tillman to the 43-yard line of Pittsburgh.
Where they typically like to go fast is like right now. After a first down, they got the conversion. You're right. Third down, let's settle down. Let's make sure we have the right people in the right play. Well executed.
Hooker has a man open, and it's too long. Cedric Tillman was running free behind the defense, and Hooker launched it a bit too far.
And Pitt is wholesale substituting on defense. They just put about 6 new players in after that incomplete pass. And last year when they played in Knoxville, that was part of the problem for Tennessee. They had a 10-0 lead, and they had several opportunities on throws down the field that they did not connect on. Again, Pitt's defense will invite you to take shots down the field, but you got to hit some of them, especially if you got a guy running free like Tillman was there.
Second and 10. They missed a great chance for a touchdown. Hooker scampers out of bounds. They'll spot him about a yard short of the 33.
I think Tennessee right now, it's 3rd and short. They run for the first down. They get the first down. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take another shot at the end zone right away.
And do it very quickly. There's Jabari Small. 5'11", 213 pounds. He got the first down, and now they do line up quickly. Last year, they averaged 20.1 seconds between plays. That was fastest in college football, about a full second faster than Ole Miss and Kent State snapped the ball. So With the play clock down to 15, this is
snail's pace.
Yeah, really. Probably feels like they're taking a knee. Single coverage again. This time there was good coverage for a moment, but that ended, and it's a touchdown. Brew McCoy won the battle of 15s with Rashad Battle.
It looked like McCoy was going to be out of bounds, but if he was forced out of bounds by the defender, he can come back in, reestablish, and make the catch. If he goes out on his own, he can't make that catch, but he was forced out by the defender, Rashad Battle. Used that big body to get back in play, and Hooker hit him with the football. Good concentration by Brew McCoy.
Well, crowd irate. Pat Narduzzi's all the way down at the 10-yard line, screaming at the nearest official to him, Chad Green. But you explained it very well, and that's why the touchdown is going to stand. These fans don't know the rules as well as you do. Chase McGrath is on for the extra point. Pat Narduzzi on the field. And in animated conversation with Jason Autry, who's trying to explain the situation. Let's bring in our referee, longtime SEC official, Matt Austin. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, Sean, Todd said it exactly right. The receiver is definitely forced out of bounds. Right here, you can see him going out because of the contact. He does reestablish himself. You see the deep official throw his hat. He's signifying that he saw everything. He knows how the receiver got out of bounds. The fact that he didn't throw a flag means he ruled him to be forced out. So this was just good officiating all the way around.
And well explained by both you and Todd.
The head coach for Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field. Timeout.
The replay official is Dave Allman. That is the headlinesman Chad Green chatting with the always animated Pat Narduzzi.
Again, the issue is, did Brew McCoy go out of bounds on his own, or was he forced out? And it was very clear that he was forced out
I
by
wonder
Rashad
if the Pitt
Battle.
people are upset about the very end of it, where they thought perhaps Brew McCoy had pushed off the defender. With that hand to the chest, I don't think so. Matt, did you see anything there at the end of the play after the question about the out of bounds?
No, I didn't, and certainly nothing. I mean, he was definitely in bounds, so I can't believe they would review that. And this play, I don't believe, is even reviewable if the officials on the field ruled that there was contact which pushed him out of bounds, and there's any contact at all. That takes replay out of it. They cannot judge how much contact there was and if it caused him to go out. The officials on the field ruled that. I don't see what there is to review here.
Unless there's some different interpretation from the replay booth. Well, if I were a Pittsburgh fan, I'd be encouraged by how long this conversation's going.
After video review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Yes.
The receiver was forced out, came back in, immediately completed the pass. It is a touchdown. Pittsburgh has charged a timeout, and they have lost their challenge for the game. We'll try it for the point after.
I'm surprised. I mean, that almost makes you feel like maybe they weren't familiar with the rules, and you know that they are. Right. Because Pat Narduzzi kept looking up at the big screens here at Acrisure Stadium. He saw the play clear as a bell, but he had nobody to explain it to him as clearly as you did and Matt did. That could be big later on. So Tennessee an extra point away from a 3-point game. And McGrath adds the extra point. Brew McCoy, transfer from USC. Stop us if you've heard that before. Has a touchdown. His first as a Tennessee ball. It's time for Todd's Taste of the Town, brought to you by DoorDash.
We kick off our season at Serafino's, a neighborhood home-style Italian restaurant started 21 years ago by Joey Caliguire with recipes from his grandmother and his mother. He wanted to create an atmosphere similar to his mom's house on Sunday when she would cook for family and friends throughout the neighborhood. Her focus was fresh ingredients, large portions, and most importantly, everything prepared with love. So a couple of the family favorites, veal parmesan, greens and beans, which is sauteed spinach, white beans, and Italian sausage, and homemade gnocchi with fresh bolognese sauce and a couple meatballs. It is good to be back.
Boy, is it ever. It is good to be back.
And a big new sponsor, DoorDash.
Yeah. Now, I didn't bring you any of the messy stuff, but I did bring you some of the pizza. This arugula and prosciutto pizza with hot honey, off the charts.
Well,
off the charts.
It looks delicious. You and I have dined at Serafino's before. But this doesn't just happen, as you can well imagine. So I'm going to hand it off to Zach Rapatrizone, our fine spotter. He's also my food taster.
Okay.
We meet Angry.
Come
on. Oh, he's a little bashful. Come on, Zach.
So
try it.
Let me tell you this. This is kind of a full circle. It's really a fun taste of town, obviously, Serafino's. But
what do you think?
Joey, it's good, right? It's awesome.
Really good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Joey played football at Temple. He and his brother, Dean, they both played high school in Pittsburgh. Joey was recruited by my dad to go to Kent, but he played at Temple. Dean played at Pitt. They were both offensive linemen. And then later, Dean played for the Steelers. And my dad, Ron Blackledge, was his coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a nice story. I tried to take the pizza away from
I'm going to eat it. Just sit it over by me.
He said no, he wants to have it in his position while he's spotting the game here.
It's worth eating.
It's delicious. We should go there tonight. Now you have a fancy new sponsor. I'm sure you get a lot of money for these segments, so it'll be your treat. Wonderful spot. It's one of Pat Narduzzi's favorites.
Yeah, he was the guy that recommended it 2 years ago when we went the first time.
And I believe I paid. As a matter of fact, I know I did because it's a weekly tradition, sort of just like Tasting in Town. On first down, Vincent Davis ahead to the 28-yard line. Veteran backup running back, senior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Interesting transition for Pat Narduzzi on offense. They were high scoring last year under Mark Whipple. He left to become the offensive coordinator at Nebraska. And I think without Kenny Pickett, they want to be a much more balanced team, run versus pass. They appreciate what Whipple did here.
Well, you want to play to your strengths. Now they feel like their strength is their offensive line. And even though they're playing this game, you see a hard run there by Vincent Davis. They're playing without Rodney Hammond, who was their leading rusher last week against West Virginia. You know, they want to run the football, use that big offensive line, and go play action.
There is no foul for a face mask. The result to play is first down.
Good hard-nosed run right there by Vincent Davis Jr. He was the leading rusher in the game a year ago. McCullough did have his hand on the face mask, but he slid it off without grabbing. That's why there was no penalty for a face mask.
Wow. Matt Austin nodding his head in full agreement. You are right on top of these calls and non-calls today, Mr. Blackledge, even with that full stomach. Slovis over the middle, deflected and caught. That's the second time today that a Pitt Panther has caught a ball that was tipped by a Tennessee ball. This one taken in by Bub Means, a transfer from Louisiana Tech.
And Jeremy Banks got his hands on the football, and then after the play had a couple words for Means like, "You're welcome that I didn't intercept that." But good concentration by Means. Pitt on the move with another first down.
We need to replace those 100 catches from Jordan Addison, who transferred away from Pitt to USC. Bartholomew, the tight end, a late substitute, so the center judge steps in to allow Tennessee the opportunity to sub.
Timeout. Pitt. This is their second charge timeout of the half.
And it comes with 8:10 to go. Another entertaining game in the Johnny Majors Classic. Pittsburgh and Tennessee in downtown Pittsburgh. The 53rd season of Monday Night Football kicks off Monday. That seems appropriate on ESPN, Deportes, and the app. It's the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. The debut of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And the alternate broadcast of Manning's on ESPN2. Kick off your Week 1 coverage Sunday at 10 a.m. with countdown. Israel Abanikanda, the ball carrier for Pitt. 8 minutes to go, first half here, 17-14. Panthers have the lead for Pat Narduzzi.
101 yards rushing now for Pitt here in the first half. So a much better effort than a week ago. Much better effort than they were able to run the football last year against this Tennessee defense in Knoxville. Of course, it was a big passing day for Kenny Pickett, 285 yards through the air, but better balance so far in the first half offensively for Pitt.
Just shy of midfield, midway through the second quarter. Slovis got it off, showed his arm strength there, and it's broken up on a nice defensive play. The intended receiver was Bub Means, and it was Kamal Haddon who spent a brief moment in time at Auburn into Tennessee as a transfer. Good play.
Yeah, good play. It was a good throw. The blitz was picked up really well by Abanikanda, and so Slovis had a clean pocket. Just a better play defensively.
Haven't had many third downs. They've converted 1 out of 3. And the pass caught on a slant for a first down. Jalen Barden, Jr. from Lozella, Georgia, with a gain to the 34, Tennessee.
They did a nice job of using the tight end Bartholomew to pull the linebacker coverage away to really open up that throwing lane, and a good crisp throw on time by Keaton Slovis for the first down. Nice route design that time, pulling the middle coverage away.
First 2 catches of the season for Barden in this first half. After the 17-yard gain, Slovis scampered out of bounds with a short pickup.
I think he wanted to hit Barden again for his 3rd catch, and but Barden fell down. A little misdirection. We're going to kind of flip it to him right out of the backfield. He had a lot of room to run if he stays on his feet. Wide receiver coach Taekwon Underwood talking to him there. Just stay on your feet. You got a big play, my man.
Looked like he tripped over Abanikanda, who was going in the opposite direction. 4-man rush, a pocket, and almost another interception for Kamal Haddon this time. Intended for Bub Means.
That was ticked again by Jeremy Banks. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time he's got his hands on the football. He's not rushing. He's just watching the quarterback and timing his jump. And they're not able to get the interception off the deflection.
Well, Pitt has had 2 completions on Tennessee deflections. Maybe they put that into the playbook. The old ricochet. They're on the fringe of field goal range. Just more than a 50-yarder. They put Mumfield, the receiver, in the backfield and motioned Abanikanda back there as well. Dumped off short. Bub Means is short of the first down by about 2 yards. And what is Pat Narduzzi going to do? No sign of the field goal team yet. And they're going to go for it. The tight end Bartholomew comes on.
Got to be a quick throw, and that big target Bartholomew, a guy you want to think about here, maybe a little too far to run the football. Bartholomew right here on the end of the line to the wide side of the field, number 86.
Play clock at 3 as they snap it. He gets buried from behind. Wesley Walker came on a blitz, and Tennessee takes it over on downs.
He missed the tight end. Bartholomew was open versus the blitz. Here he is. He's just going to go and sit down. The blitz is coming from the outside, and Slovis, for the first time today, doesn't see it. There's his tight end wide open. It would have been an easy conversion on 4th down. His eyes were in the wrong place, and Tennessee, for the first time in the ballgame, got home with the pressure.
So a sack, a 7-yard loss for Pittsburgh. And another beating delivered to Keaton Slovis. And he's not going to get through the year, Todd, if he continues to take hits like this. And now down by 3. Here come the Vols. Jabari Small sliced his way to the 38 for a gain of 4.
Tennessee, a lot of time here before halftime. All 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Here comes pressure from Pitt. They don't get there. Flag down. Single coverage beaten again. All the way to the goal line goes Tillman. No signal yet. Touchdown. He beat MJ Devonshire. But there is a flag down. Back near the line of scrimmage.
I'm wondering if they got the center, Cooper Mays, number 63.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense number 57.
Wow.
The 15-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff result the play as a touchdown.
And was it a touchdown? There was some question about whether Tillman got into the end zone before going down. Progressive pylon cam will give us another good view. He's okay.
Well, is that his forearm or his elbow down before the ball crosses the plane? Potentially.
That's the question. Right about here, Matt Austin, is he down? Matt, what say you?
I think he is down. It was hard to tell at first.
Is under video review.
It was hard to tell at first because the wrist is part of the hand, but I do think the elbow or the whole forearm and the elbow got to the ground just before the ball broke.
And the ball, just the front part of the ball has to cross the plane, right? It doesn't have to all the way go in the end zone, but I think you're right. I think that forearm was down before any part of the ball crossed the plane to the goal line.
I agree.
It's a 62-yard play. And Tennessee, Todd, doing a great job taking those deep shots.
Yes. Well, you have to.
Connecting on them.
You have to, because Pitt will invite you to that because of so much single coverage. And you just have to win some plays. You have to win some one-on-ones. And that's what Josh Heupel, Alex Golesh told us when we met with him yesterday. You know, we got to win some one-on-ones. They didn't win enough one-on-ones a year ago, but they've won a few big ones here so far in the first half.
Jason Autry has finished his conversation with Dave Almond in the replay booth. It's either a touchdown, it's going to be first and goal Vols from inches away.
After video review, the runner was down a half yard short of the goal line. The personal foul will be enforced from that point. First down, Tennessee.
Well, a double break for Pitt is the penalty enforcement is going to be a couple of inches. It won't come on the kickoff should Tennessee score and take the lead for the first time.
Separation. I mean, Tillman just ran by the corner. Devonshire, who was the hero a week ago against West Virginia. Again, it's kind of feast or famine when you play cornerback in this defense.
Officially a 61-yard play now that it's not a touchdown. Tillman really emerged last year. He's a fifth-year senior. Jabari Small, the running back, and the touchdown scorer. And Tennessee leads for the first time today.
Just the opposite of the game last year. Last year in Knoxville, Tennessee jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Pitt battled back, took the lead in the second quarter, and went into halftime with the lead and never trailed again. Tennessee made a furious comeback in the fourth quarter, but it was short. This time, Pitt starts with the lead. Tennessee crawls back. And right now, before halftime, Tennessee trying to go into the break with the lead.
Well, that interception thrown by Slovis when it looked like Pitt was about to take a 17-0 lead. The biggest play in the game right now. And Chase McGrath adds the extra point. And it's a 4-point advantage for the Volunteers. Tillman set it up. He beat Devonshire in the one-on-one coverage.
He was targeted 10 times, 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown, or short of a touchdown.
State Farm halftime report just minutes away. A&M and Notre Dame struggling so far.
Yeah, both offenses struggling.
All right, Alabama struggling in Austin. Highlights and reaction coming your way at the half. What do you think of our game so far, Dan?
Hey, the offensive fireworks we're expecting, we're getting them from both teams.
Tennessee up by 4. Back to Sean. We'll see you at the half.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Very entertaining first half indeed here in the Johnny Majors Classic. Been a winner by 7, 41-34 last year in Knoxville. Tennessee trying to win on the road. First game they played in the Northeast since '98 when they played Syracuse, a big win in their national championship season. Todd, they were down 10-0 today. Looked like it was going to be 17-0, but this play changed momentum big time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a breath of fresh air for Tennessee. Led to a touchdown. They fought their way back in, and then the incredible play by Bartholomew. Put Pitt up again, and then this controversial play that was just great concentration by Brew McCoy to stay in bounds. Tennessee has fought their way into the lead here late in the first half.
Leading for the first time. Just under 5 minutes to go. Vincent Davis not finding any running room. A half-yard, and that's about all. He ran into Aaron Beasley, who's been active in this first half. Senior from Franklin, Georgia.
He played very well last week in their opening win against Ball State. We got another linebacker, Jawan Mitchell, who's a transfer from Texas, who was one of their top players a year ago. He's been out, has not played yet. Beasley and Jeremy Banks. Banks, who had 128 tackles a year ago. Very active inside linebacker group for this Tennessee defense.
Andy Bolster, when Mitchell's healthy, missed most of last year with a shoulder injury and has not played this year. Well protected this time, Slovis, but nobody open. Now he zips one way short with his intended target. It was Bub Means. Warren Burrell had the coverage.
Excellent coverage downfield because, as you mentioned, Slovis was well protected. He moved out of the pocket, still had an open throwing lane, just nowhere to go with the football. An important time of the game for Pitt. 3rd and long here. They get a 2-for-1. They won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. You love to try to finish the 2nd quarter and start the 3rd quarter with something positive.
Slovis waved Vincent Davis back to his left hip. 4-man rush with a spy. The check down to Davis and a first down.
Really good decision by Slovis. And Tennessee was in a deep zone coverage, had a deep middle safety. He didn't try to force it down the field into coverage. He threw underneath to the back and let the back do the rest for the first down. This is deep zone coverage. Tennessee's got everybody accounted for, but the back slipping out of the backfield was the right option for Keaton Slovis.
And Davis nowhere to go. Stuff for no gain again. Roman Harrison, backup defensive end, plays the Leo position. Another senior on this defense out of Bainbridge, Georgia.
Well, you said it earlier. For Tennessee to take the next step in their development under Josh Heupel, it's got to be starts with their defense. In the league that they play in, you can't just hope to outscore everybody. You got to play good defense too. You got to stop the run. Tennessee's defense trying to catch up to that offense a little bit more in year 2 of this coaching staff.
Play clock running out. They snapped it with 1. We're under 3 minutes to go in the half. Slovis still up somehow and got it off. Roman Harrison again putting the pressure on Slovis.
And again, good downfield coverage because initially the pocket's there. Slovis leaves and somehow gets rid of the football before getting sacked.
Hits delivered on to Keaton Slovis, pardon me, by this Tennessee defense. And 3rd down and long. Will they come after him again?
With their backup left tackle and Branson Taylor for their left tackle Carter Warren,
who's one of their best, if not their best, offensive lineman. They get a completion to Canante Mumfield, but he's short of the first down by about 2 yards, and Pat Narduzzi has the punt team ready to come on. No sign of Warren, who has started 36 games on the offensive line, a 5th-year senior. there's something wrong with him, that's another big blow to the Panthers.
I already mentioned Gabe Hoy, the starting right tackle, another vet not playing in the ball game today. In uniform.
He started 27 games at the other end of the line. So here's Sam Vanderhaar, can punt with either foot. This one's right-footed. He's from Australia. And a little backspin on that one. They'll down it at the 23-yard line. Now a quick word from Cheez-It.
I feel the cheesiest, but the chain puts the extra cheese on the cracker.
It's here. Look at this.
It's the cheesiest chain. This is the cheesiest day of my life.
This takes spinning cheese to a whole new level. Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Well, with 1:50 to go and all 3 timeouts, they don't need a lot of time. Hendon Hooker started 2 out of 8. They started the game with 2 3-and-outs. He's 10 out of 12 since, and up to 188 in the half with a touchdown and no picks.
Also their leading rusher right now with 35 yards on 8 carries.
For 145 straight passes without an interception. He got stood up and dumped by Kalijah Cansey in the middle of that defensive line.
I'll take a look right in here. Kalijah Cansey, just a solid guy, comes on the inside move. Makes the play behind the line of scrimmage. Again, a very disruptive defensive front for Pitt. Cansey, one of the leaders, very athletic for a big man.
Some movement, no flags down. Hooker pulled it down. He gets sacked again by David Grain, 5th-year senior from West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, who had a half sack in the opener against West Virginia. And Todd, to me, this is where Pat Narduzzi really hurt himself with that challenge that cost him a timeout.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's only got 1 left. I think you use it if they run the football or the clock's moving here, because they came close to a couple block punts early in the game. I think they could go after the Tennessee punter if they get a stop here on 3rd down.
Tennessee not in any big hurry. Pitt would have been able to stop the clock twice. Looks like Josh Heupel's going to let it go down and then use one of his 3 timeouts with 37 seconds
Tennessee
to go.
has called their first timeout of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
Then we go back to the challenge. And well, you said immediately what happened on the long play to Brew McCoy. Was pushed out of bounds, came back in. Made the catch. It was a touchdown. Seemed clear as a bell to you, to Matt Austin. And Pat Narduzzi didn't have to rely on assistant coaches because he kept looking up at the big screen here at Acrisure Stadium and seeing the same replays we saw.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because obviously he loses a challenge for later in the game, but more importantly right now he loses a timeout, so he only has 1 left. This was a play, again, clearly forced out of bounds by Rashad Battle, the defensive back for Pitt. Reestablished himself, made the catch, and right now that was very smart also by Josh Heupel to let that clock run down, use one of his timeouts. He's going to have to punt the football if they don't convert here.
Well, they've had success throwing it down the field. Will they try that on 3rd down and 19? Or run a conservative play and make Pitt use that last timeout? Jalen Wright's the running back. Hooker's had more freedom this year to change the play. Calls his own number and gets a couple. Wrestled down by John Morgan, who's the primary stand-in for Deslin Alexander, who's out today. Morgan was excellent last week
has
against
called their
West
3rd
Virginia.
and final timeout of the half.
Tonight from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, it's UFC 279. They had to jumble up the card, but they still came up with some terrific matchups, including Diaz and Ferguson. The main card begins at 10 Eastern. It's on pay-per-view with the prelims at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN News. To order the main card in English and Spanish, go to espnplus.com/PPV. Apparently one guy didn't make weight. There were a lot of hostilities at the weigh-in, the press thing the other day. That should be fun to watch tonight.
Again, I think if you're Pitt, I think you try to go after this fact. They don't even have a returner. They were very close to blocking the first 2 Tennessee punts. This time they are going to sell out. They've got 2 gunners, everyone else on the line of scrimmage.
Veteran punter in Paxton Brooks, 50th career game, 4-year starter. He knows to catch it and get it off. He won't get it off quite as quickly as he might have. And there's a very nice kick. And it goes out of bounds at the 37, so 21 seconds, no timeouts for Pitt. The defense rose up.
Yeah, they did. They got the loss of yardage play early, and then they came back on 3rd down. A little conservative by Josh Heupel, not wanting to do anything right here at the end of the half to incite this crowd or to give momentum to Pitt. And Pittsburgh's defense with a good possession there, and their offense gets one more shot at it here. No timeouts, 21 seconds. If you get a completion on this first play across the 50 or in that area, now you got the opportunity to maybe throw towards the end zone. Tennessee is probably going to be back in a soft type of zone.
Pitt hasn't been able to take many deep shots. They've had a hard time defending, protecting Slovis, defending the rush. And right on cue, he gets swung down. And the ball has come out. Tennessee thinks it was a fumble. Omari Thomas came away with the ball. And it will be Tennessee ball.
Tyler Barron with the pressure and the sack,
and
he really threw.
By the defense. Please place 14 seconds on the clock. First down, Tennessee.
He threw Slovis to the ground violently. The ball's coming out clearly before he hits the ground. So that is a fumble. And recovered by Tennessee. And so the conservative offensive play call and the timeout paid off for Josh Heupel, who now has 2 timeouts left and a chance to attack the end zone.
Carter Warren, who is their starting left tackle, the veteran standout, was back in there for that possession, so he was just getting a breather on the last series. That's Nick Patty, the backup quarterback, who probably wouldn't want to go in today. The beating that Slovis has taken, but he better be ready.
Nice little gain by the defensive line, and now Tennessee with a chance to attack and tack on more before halftime.
Interesting formation, 3 receivers wide and the rest of them tight. One-on-one again, and that one's intercepted. MJ Devonshire takes it back for the Panthers. And the question was he in bounds? He had a pick in the win, the huge pick 6 for the winning points against West Virginia a week ago Thursday here. And ooh, are those toes on the line?
They're going to take a look at this as we take a look from the progressive pylon cam. I think that's out of bounds. He made a great play. And remember, we said if you're a corner in this Pitt defense, it's feast or famine. You're out there on an island a lot. He got beat earlier in the game by Tillman. And that time
the ruling of an interception on the previous play is under video review. Timeout.
It was almost certainly going to be overturned. MJ Devonshire, what a thrill for him. Grew up in Aliquippa, not far from here. Elected to go to Kentucky, transferred back home. Said he was encouraged to transfer back home by, among others, Darrell Rivas from Aliquippa. Ty Law, trying to get him to go to Michigan.
Yeah.
He was happy at least he came back home to play for the Pitt Panthers.
Aliquippa, the same hometown as Tony Dorsett. Mike Ditka, a lot of guys, and so he was very
not a lot of good football players.
Very familiar with the backyard brawl, and when that rivalry got reinstated this year, he very much aware of it and wanted to make a big play, do something special in that game.
Well, they caught a huge break. It looked like West Virginia was driving.
Yeah.
Bryce Ford Wheaton, who had a huge game, had a pass go off his hands, went up in the air into the arms of Devonshire, who ran for the touchdown, 56 yards. With 2:58 to go. We asked him when we visited yesterday, what were you thinking? He said, don't get a penalty when I score. Because Coach Narduzzi isn't going to like that. So the discipline has been driven home. There's the big break for
After
Pittsburgh.
video review, the defender stepped out of bounds before completing the catch.
And Devonshire
is incomplete.
made it pay.
It'll be second down at the 28-yard line.
That That was his second career interception. This one would have been his third. It's been overturned. Both were big. He had an overtime interception against North Carolina to seal a win last year. So they'll put the ball back at the line of scrimmage.
Now you got to line right back up again. Now, how does Josh Heupel approach these final 10 seconds? Does he look for a quick completion to play for a field goal and a 24-17 lead?
I think with the way they're getting one-on-ones and jump balls, if you got a play, you think you can do that again. And look at Pittsburgh now backing off. 3 defenders deep. They're not going to allow that, so they run it up the middle. Jalen Wright short of the first down. It will be a field goal situation now.
Tennessee has called their second timeout of the half. Please reset the game clock to 5 seconds. This is a 30-second timeout.
Well, do you get greedy here, or do you kick the field goal?
Kick the field goal. You know, your defense is playing well. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. They're getting hits on the quarterback. They've held their own okay on the run game. And it's the kind of game you expected it was going to be. You expect a 4-quarter game here in Pittsburgh against a good opponent. Take the lead, go into halftime with a touchdown lead if you get a conversion here on the field goal.
Well, they have a good kicker in McGrath. There's the starting kicker at USC, and the Trojans will be on Saturday Night Football on ABC tonight, presented by Capital One against Stanford, 7:30. He is now in his second year as the kicker at Tennessee. Had a very solid season last year. Got a degree from USC in communications. Right between the hash marks. This will be a 37-yard try. A 7-point lead. And it is good. Oh, baby draw. And the 5th-year senior from Newport Beach, California. That's 10 points off turnovers now for Tennessee. They have not turned it over. The Panthers have turned it over twice. On an interception, on a ricochet, and on a lost fumble. Both by Kedon Slovis. And here's Molly McGrath.
Coach, what went into that decision to challenge that Tennessee touchdown in the second quarter?
You know what, they talked about him being pushed out, but I don't think he got pushed out. I think he ran out. They lined up in these wide splits and they cut themselves off. We had a hand on him. We didn't push him out. He ran out. So that's what I just disagree with the call still.
And Kedon Slovis taking a lot of hits. How concerning is that?
He's a tough kid. We're ready to go. He's got to make plays. He's made some great plays today. We'll keep making them.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, you didn't think there was a push. That's at least an explanation. Just thought the defender had a hand on him. Entertaining first half. We'll send you to the studio for the State Farm halftime report after this message and word from our ABC stations. We're back in Pittsburgh, and the big news is that Kedon Slovis, who got hit time and time again in the first half, is not going to play in the second half. Molly McGrath telling us he has an undisclosed injury. Nick Patty, the backup, has been warming up, and you could just about see it coming, Todd Blackledge, with the way he was battered and bruised by this Vols defense.
I mean, he showed great courage early. He hung in there. He made throws under duress, 3 rushers, but I mean, those hits accumulate. And the last one, when he fumbled, you know, he got kind of tossed around and thrown down to the ground pretty violently, landing on his shoulder. Don't know what the injury is, but he took way too many shots in that first half of play.
Short kickoff and a fair catch made. So it'll be Nick Patty to take over. He has started 2 games as a Pitt Panther, played in 17 in his career. He actually started their bowl game against Michigan State, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, when Kenny Pickett decided not to play in that game, get ready for the NFL draft, which he was a first-round pick. But there was some competition in the preseason. Slovis had to earn it, and they think Patty is a talented guy.
Well, I think they think he's talented, and they also know that he's got the respect of his teammates, all right? He's been a part of this program. He's been on the team. He didn't pout when he didn't win the job. He's there, and you know, the hardest job in college football or pro football is to be the backup quarterback, but you have to prepare like a starter because you're 1 play away from being the guy, and right now it's Nick Patty's game.
5th-year senior from Hillsdale, New Jersey, out of St. Joseph. They start on the run with Israel Abanikanda. I mentioned he started the bowl game against Michigan State, completed 2 out of 5 for 21 yards, rushed 3 times, and for a TD that missed the final 3.5 quarters. He suffered a broken collarbone and did not play the rest of the game. Dazzling 16-yard scramble and touchdown run, and a Pitt touchdown. He broke his collarbone. Off the play fake. In the flat, Bartholomew taken down immediately by Byron Young.
We talked to Tim Banks yesterday. He said one of the things in the development for Byron Young now is not just rushing the passer, but guarding a tight end in man coverage, dropping into zone, taking his game to the next level. That was beautiful work by a defensive end, dropping into coverage, man-to-man on a tight end, and then making a sheer tackle short of the first down.
One of the great stories in college football. Molly McGrath has spoken with him. He mentioned he was working at a Dollar General store as an assistant general manager at the Georgia Military College, tried out for the team and made it, and that started his college football career. On 3rd down, Patty. And a flag thrown late along the far numbers at the 36-yard line. And Patty treated just as Slovis was by these Vols, banged around by Aaron Beasley and Byron Young.
Well, Patty, I think, just his skill set.
During the run, holding, defense. 10-yard penalty added to the end of the play. It includes an automatic first down.
That's huge, obviously. It would have been a punt.
I think that's part of the reason why Patty had to pull the ball down and try to run, was because of the penalty. But Patty has got more mobility and running ability than Keaton Slovis. But with Slovis out of the game now and back in the locker room, you wonder how much Frank Signetti Jr. wants to put his quarterback in harm's way. I mean, just dropping back and throw has been harm's way for Keaton Slovis so far in this ball game.
Israel Abanikanda had a long touchdown earlier, and he almost broke free to take that one the distance. He had a 76-yard touchdown run in the first half. This one goes for 25.
Well, Carter Johnson, the tight end, got to watch. Watch Carter Warren. Watch Warren, number 77, with a big block. And here's the tight end down the field with a pancake block of the tight end of the safety Flowers. Blocking at the point of attack and blocking at the next level. Another big run for Pitt.
Planting Flowers down the field. There's Carter Johnson. 6'2", 250-pounder. Out of Pickerington, Ohio. Butler Community College in Kansas. The defensive holding penalty huge. Now Pitt trying to take advantage. Whistle stopped the play.
Game. Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Patty was a top recruit, rated one of the top 20 pro-style quarterbacks in the country coming out of high school in New Jersey. Redshirted here in 2018, served as the top backup the last couple of years behind Kenny Pickett.
If you're Pitt right now, you want to try to lean on your offensive line in the running game and protect your quarterback with max protection on play action to take some shots down the field.
On the delay, Abanikanda stopped for no gain by Big O, Omari Thomas. Tim Banks told us yesterday we need Big O to be stout, be a factor, and he was on that play. High school teammate of Jabari Small, the fine Tennessee running back. And Briarcrest in Tennessee.
Big Patty here, you're just thinking about getting some of that yardage back. Give yourself a reasonable chance on 3rd down, 2nd down and 15 here. You don't have to get it all with one play.
He fires good, throw short of a first down by about 4 yards. Jared Wayne thrown back by Kamal Haddon. And a big third down here.
I like what Jared Wayne does. Runs his route, pushes the defender, shows the quarterback his numbers, and then makes a secure catch coming back to the football, and just what they needed. Now you've got a chance on third down at this distance. You've got a run-pass option here on third down, and Pat Narduzzi may even be thinking 2 plays here to get the first down.
They are in field goal range. They have a new kicker this year. They have confidence in him. He was a highly recruited kicker out of high school. Patty throws it away. Dominic Bailey, the latest to bring pressure. He's a backup defensive end.
Rolling against the quarterback was outside the pocket. The pass sent it beyond the line of scrimmage. Incomplete pass. 4th down.
Here's Ben Sauls, redshirt sophomore. Highly recruited kicker, ranked in the top 20 by the kicking services, coming out of high school in Tip City, Ohio, but lost the battle last year to Sam Scarton. It was a walk-on. Scarton made 17 out of 21 last year. But they had a battle again in the offseason. Sauls won it this time. He's 2 for 2 this year. 1 for 1 today. That one is nowhere near the uprights. Wide left. Very wide left from 46 yards. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Arby's.
Back here in Pittsburgh, where Tennessee is up 24-17, and their head coach Josh Heupel told me his team started to settle in offensively in the first half. Once they connected on some big passing plays, it gave a little more confidence to their quarterback Hendon Hooker, and they got some more momentum. And he said his receivers need to continue to win those one-on-one matchups. He stressed that, and he said this game is going to come down to that pitch and catch all night. It's going to come down to our wide receivers at the end of this game.
Well, they pitch and catch. Hendon Hooker to Jalen Hyatt for a gain of 9 on first down. Hendo Cinco out wide again. Late flag thrown. If the play stands, it's a first down for Jalen Hyatt.
Pass was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is no pass interference. Result of the play is a first down.
Tennessee will keep challenging you with these wide, quick throws to the wideouts against man coverage. You got a single blocker out there, and if you break a tackle, this short throw can turn into something big, and then you can set up something else.
Hooker is taken down. Brandon George, backup linebacker. You made the point at the half, Todd. They had 5 sacks against Tennessee last year. This is just their second today.
A little stunt. The linebackers cross. Brandon George gets in there unblocked. They had a tight end and a back in there to help protect, and neither one of them saw Brandon George.
In the previous 3 seasons, Pitt with more sacks than any team in the country. A flag down, another flag, 4 flags down as Brew McCoy made his way to the 45 of Pitt for a first down if it stands. But 4 officials at least threw their flags.
It's got to be offensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Offense, number 88. The 15-yard penalties enforced from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
See, the reason that didn't get called a couple plays ago is because the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. This ball's thrown over the line of scrimmage. So Fant has to at least look like he's trying to run a route. You just can't go in to block a man that obviously when the ball is thrown past the line of scrimmage.
Well, a huge turn of events. The big gainer taken down, and the 15-yard walk-off brings it back to the 21. Pitt fans trying to get back into it. They had a 10-0 lead. Twice led by 10 in the first half. Tennessee took the lead late in the half and still has it. Hooker got hit hard. His pass errant. Diving attempt for the interception by Devonshire. It was Haba Baldonado, 5th-year senior, who had 2 sacks last year at Tennessee, who blasted Hooker.
Baldonado's in a stand-up linebacker position on that play and had a straight shot to the quarterback. Pitt defense all of a sudden now starting to get home a little bit with that pass rush.
Three receivers to the short side, to Hooker's right in a bunch. And they throw it in that direction. Nobody blocking. It didn't matter. It was thrown behind the line of scrimmage to Cedric Tillman. Got some good yardage, but way short of the line to make, which is the 48-yard line of Pitt. So Paxton Brooks will come on to punt for Tennessee. Career average of 43.4. Third best in Vols history. Trevor Daniel and Jimmy Colquitt, the two ahead of him. Jalen Barden back at his own 21. Nose up spiral and a fair catch. A little contact at the end of the play, and now some woofing as well. The officials step in. Well, if you just joined us, some sad news this morning when we learned of the passing of Frank Cignetti Sr. That is his son, Frank Cignetti Jr., the offensive coordinator here at Pitt. Coach Cignetti Sr., college football Hall of Famer, died this morning at the age of 84. Frank Jr. did get an opportunity to spend time with his dad the last few days. He fell ill. There's another flag on first down. Israel Abanikanda scampered for about 7. Tremendous success at IUP in Division II for Frank Cignetti.
Offense, number 60. Half the distance from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Owen Drexel, the center, called for the hold. You know, I talked to Frank Cignetti. You did too. Molly did before the game. We visited yesterday, and he told us yesterday he knew it could be any moment that his dad would pass away. But when we talked this morning, he reminded me, Frank Cignetti, when he was the head coach at West Virginia, got diagnosed with cancer. Twice he had the last rites read to him. This was 40+ years ago. Very nice man, in addition to being one of the all-time great coaches. Patty threw it out wide to Mumfield. And you mentioned it earlier, Frank Jr. came back to Pittsburgh. His third stint on the staff here at Pitt, in large part because he wanted to be close to his parents. His two sisters live here. His mom, Marlene, is alive and living here in Pittsburgh. So it's wonderful that he's been here to support his mom and sisters through this. Brother Kurt, of course, the head coach at James Madison.
And as he told us, and this is true, Pittsburghers love Pittsburgh. So, I mean, for him to have the opportunity to come back home was too good to pass up.
First stint at Pitt for Frank Jr. was with the great Mike Gottfried, the graduate assistant. The 3/4 throw. And Jared Wayne, the intended receiver, it's incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 14. Kurt Cignetti coaching his team today against Norfolk State. And a similar tweet to the one we showed you earlier from Frank Jr. I was blessed to have a great dad. I know you can say the same thing about your dad, a coach. And I was blessed to have a great dad, and I know the pain very well. I miss my dad every day, and he's been gone for 19.5 years. Third down and 14. Patty throws off the hands of Mumfield and almost intercepted again. Trayvon Flowers had a shot at it.
Well, Sean, Frank Cignetti Jr. said before the game there was no question about whether or not he'd coach today, saying, my dad would want me to coach and keep my promise to these players. And Cignetti learned the news of his father's passing at 11:11, which he thought was significant. And that was right before their team walked through this morning. So he spoke to the team, made them aware of the news, and they celebrated the life of Frank Cignetti Sr. during their team mass. And he made a point to say he wanted today to be a celebration of his father's life.
It wasn't lost on Frank Jr. that his first game back here at Pitt this stint was in the backyard brawl. Dad and former head coach at West Virginia. Vanderhaar punt, no fair catch. Trayvon Flowers into Pitt territory and got stacked up at the 48-yard line. In fact, Frank Jr. told us yesterday His dad watched a backyard brawl, and it was really the last moments that he was conscious 9 days ago. May he rest in peace. A wonderful man and a great football coach.
College football presented by Arby's on ABC is brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Clothing and gear designed and tested to do. And Popeyes.
Well, earlier today, a bust of Johnny Majors unveiled. His Heisman Trophy winning running back Tony Dorsett among the many former Johnny Majors players here in Pittsburgh today. This is the Johnny Majors Classic, Tennessee and Pitt for the second year in a row. Pitt won in Knoxville last year by a touchdown. It's Tennessee with a 1-touchdown lead midway through the third quarter here in Pittsburgh. Hendon Hooker, another one-on-one shot, another open receiver, incomplete. Cedric Tillman ran by A.J. Woods this time, but they couldn't complete it.
And he got the separation right there. He's got the space. It's a well-thrown ball. He just isn't able to make the catch. I don't think A.J. Woods got a hand on the football, but maybe just the hands around the face and the body enough to distract Tillman from pulling the football in.
They connected. There's a whistle here and a flag. They connected for 10 touchdown passes last year.
False start. Offense. Number 15 never came set. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Remember, last year in this ball game, he only had 1 catch for 20 yards. He's been targeted 14 times today by Hendon Hooker. 7 catches, 126 yards, and he almost had another one right there.
He's had a very interesting career, Cedric Tillman. First 3 years in Knoxville, he had a total of 8 catches. And then last year with the new offense, and Coach Heupel believed in him, 64 catches. They tried the pop pass over the middle to Jacob Warren again. Worked in the first half, not that time. Another third down and long. Tillman's dad, Cedric, played in the NFL for the Broncos and is a big influence on his son. What a season he had a year ago.
Hendon Hooker right now, you just can't make a mistake. You're backed up behind the chains. Your defense is playing well. Don't do something careless with the football here, trying to be a hero.
They screen it out to Jalen Hyatt, and he's dumped after a gain of 1 or 2 by Bengali Kamara.
I know Josh Heupel and his teams are probably not used to playing a field position game, but look, you got to do what you got to do to win, right? They got a chance to really flip the field, pin Pittsburgh back with their backup quarterback, who hasn't really gotten into a groove yet in Nick Patty. Sometimes you got to play that game. Right now your defense is playing well. Hope your special teams can come up with a nice punt situation here and make Pitt go the long field.
5th punt for Brooks, and it's blocked. Blocked by Pittsburgh. And scooped up and out of bounds.
They were close on 2 of them in the first half. This time they get it. Number 22 is the guy who got in there and got it.
P.J. O'Brien.
P.J. O'Brien.
The backup safety.
Clean shot to the ball. Laid out. And again, you've got to go for where the ball's coming off the foot, not at the leg of the punter. Perfect place to be. And Pitt gets the break. Tennessee's in position to pin Pittsburgh back with a good punt. And Pittsburgh completely flips the field and changes the momentum of the game, thanks to P.J. O'Brien.
Primarily a special teams player, the sophomore out of Pompano Beach, Florida. Last year it was a Tennessee block of a Pittsburgh punt on the first Pitt possession of the game. Here's Abanikanda spinning but going nowhere. Sent back by Aaron Beasley.
Pittsburgh trying to go with a bigger formation, have an extra offensive lineman in there, number 61, Ryan Jacoby. He's coming out on this play, but first down he was out there. We saw a lot of that heavy formation a week ago against West Virginia, not as much in the ball game tonight.
Does it seem to you that Paxton Barnes is Brooks rather is a little slow getting the punts off. And we were surprised when all he was trying to do was get it off at the end of the half. That he took as long as he did. Nick Patty play fake slant incomplete, intended for Jared Wayne. It'll be 3rd down and 9. It's the second block punt in the career of Brooks, their 4-year starter. And the first since 2019. So that's a surprise. Can Pittsburgh capitalize? They were down deep earlier in this quarter, missed a 46-yard field goal. Nick Patty in relief of Keaton Slovis. Another deflected ball, and it sailed over the head of Trayvon Flowers.
I think this just hit off a guy's shoulder. Omari Thomas, the big nose tackle, he didn't get a hand up. It went off either his shoulder or his head and went up. Again, Patty with kind of a low delivery, that sidearm delivery. That ball didn't even get over the head of the defensive lineman.
So here's Sauls, 2 for 3 this year, his first as their field goal kicker. The miss was moments ago in this direction. From 46, this from 36. Patty's the holder, and he misses again. And you wonder if they'll go back to Scarton, who was their kicker all of last year, missed only 4 out of 21 all season.
Momentum swings in football. Tennessee has a chance. They're going to pin Pittsburgh back, right? No, the block punt. Everything changes. Momentum on the side of Pittsburgh. 3 and out, and then another missed field goal. Tennessee's sudden change defense still in the lead.
This is the ACC on ESPN as we welcome you back to ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Arby's. Panthers, the ACC champions a year ago, hosting Tennessee out of the SEC. And then Hooker on target to the 30-yard line for a first down. Jalen Hyatt the catch, Marquez Williams the tackle for Pittsburgh. Neither team has scored here in the 3rd quarter, which has 5 minutes remaining. It's Hyatt, a frequent target here in the 3rd. Run out of bounds after a pickup of 8 more.
The quick tempo really caught Pittsburgh out of position that time. There was a lot of room to run when Hyatt caught that football.
We got 9. Now they hand it to Hyatt in trouble. And taken down by Eric Hallett, the safety. Just short, it seems, of the first down.
You know, Sean, with Keaton Slovis out of the game for Pitt and their offense, I really think if Pitt's going to win this football game, their defense is going to have to do it. They have not forced a turnover yet. That was a big key last year when they won.
Jalen Wright has the first down. And Pitt saying the ball's out, and they have it. Eric Hallett came away with the ball. The official from the far sideline ruling the runner down. But the Pitt defenders continue to plead their case. Tennessee has not turned it over today.
Last year, Pittsburgh forced 3 turnovers.
Really on the field as the runner was down. It results in a first down, Tennessee.
Hard to tell there what part of his body was down when the ball was ripped out.
The ball, I'm surprised it's not at least a stoppage. And Pat Narduzzi.
The ruling of the runner being down prior to losing possession is under review. Timeout.
Pat Narduzzi was watching another replay on the big screen. He's convinced this time it's going to go his way. It was Tyler Wiltz who ripped the ball out. There's the ball, and I guess the question for Matt Austin and for the replay official Dave Allman was, had the play been stopped?
Well, it doesn't matter if the whistle blows as long as you have an immediate recovery, which we did. It's hard to see when the body of the runner touches down. The ball definitely comes out. If it's out right there, I think it's a fumble.
Man, I think his body came down on a Pitt defender. I don't think it came down on the ground before the ball came out. I think it came down on another Pitt defender, and the ball was out. An immediate recovery, as you said, by Eric Hallett. I think this one's going to get changed, and Pitt's going to have the football.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It looked like he was still up. Play had not been stopped. He was still fighting for yardage. And the ball was ripped out by Wiltz and recovered out of the air by Eric Hallett.
And again, Sean, the reason this is so critical for Pitt if they get this turnover is, you know, Pitt's offense right now with the people they have on the field, they're not going to go 80, 90
After video
yards
review,
against Tennessee.
Possession was lost prior to being down. The ball was recovered by Pitt. It'll be first down at the 44-yard line.
So the Panthers need a short field, and that's what their defense gave them right now. And so now is when Nick Patty has to stay ahead of the chains, positive plays, and try to get his team in the end zone for a tying touchdown. Thanks to your defense, you're on the Tennessee side of the 50-yard line right now to begin.
Well, the defense gets the ball back. First Tennessee turnover of the game. It has turned it over twice, leading to 10 Tennessee points.
Gavin Bartholomew, Jared Wayne. Those are the two guys that need to step up and make some plays.
Tight formation. Tennessee loaded up on it against the run, and they stopped Abanikanda for a 3-yard gain. And it's pretty obvious, and you knew it would happen. It's hard to replace Jordan Addison, the Biletnikoff Award winner who transferred from Pitt to USC. But it looks like they're still searching to find some playmakers at the wide receiver position.
Well, you know, outside of Jared Wayne, the other two guys that we've seen today are both transfers, so they're still kind of getting used to playing at Pitt, playing in this system. And it's going to take a little more growth in game situations.
On second down, Abanikanda could not turn the corner. He's short of the first down. Stopped by Kamal Haddon. At the 37, they need the 34. A big 3rd down and 3. I'm pretty certain, Todd, they wouldn't try another field goal from here at least.
And the substitution, Bartholomew out on this 3rd down, playing the extra defensive lineman, Ryan Jacoby, 61 in the game. They still have Carter Johnson, a tight end, in number 8, but an extra offensive lineman in the game as well in Jacoby.
Abanikanda, the running back. They're without their power back. But Hammond not available today. It doesn't matter that time for Abanikanda, as he's powerful enough to move the chains. First down, Pittsburgh at the Tennessee 33.
Ryan Jacoby is a guy that's pretty versatile, pretty athletic. They line him up kind of like an H-back, and he's actually the lead blocker here. Watch him get in here. They pull the backside guard, Marcus Minor, around. Abanikanda gets the first down and a new set of downs for Pitt. Good time for play action pass here on first down.
Ryan Jacoby's another transfer. He's from Ohio State. Abanikanda flattened at the line of scrimmage. Well played by Roman Harrison, who's done a number of big plays. And we're approaching 2.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh in no big hurry. Trying to give that defense some rest. Tennessee has run 57 plays so far to 54 for Pitt.
But Tennessee's only averaging 5.5 yards per play. So, I mean, they're not getting the big plays as much as they have in the past. They still do have the lead, though.
Patty after the play fake. Zips one, caught. Mumfield almost surrendered the first down yardage. It looks like they'll give him the 22. And a Panthers first down.
Mumfield is a guy they really like. He transferred from Akron. He was an all-MAC performer a year ago. Feel like he can run all the routes on the route tree. That time he makes a nice catch. The runner was down for the first down.
Making the line of the game, first down.
Not sure Josh Heupel likes that call. Mumfield was their leading receiver for the Zips last year. 63 catches, 3 100-yard receiving games. They think he has speed. They really haven't been able to stretch anything deep today. Under 2 to go in the 3rd quarter. Abanikanda Got belted. A couple of yards short of the first down. Jalen McCullough flying in like a missile to chop him down after a gain of 8.
Really nice teamwork by the left side of the offensive line. Little inside zone run that time. Good exchange by the left guard, the left tackle. They're kind of flexing their muscles a little bit. Again, extra offensive linemen in the ball game right now.
Second and 2. Abanikanda inside the 5. First and goal, Pittsburgh from the 4. Down by 7. And we'll go under a minute to go in the third quarter. When they snap it again, they put the ball back on the 5-yard line. Galen Wright the fumble, hoping the defense can't cover that up. Abanikanda 148 yards rushing. That is a career high, including a 76-yard score in the first half. And he gets swung down for a loss by Byron Young. That could well be the last play of the third quarter. And the Pitt coaches are telling Patty not to snap it again. There was a scoreless third quarter. Pittsburgh at the 6-yard line when the fourth quarter begins. Down by 7. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Time now for our AT&T 5G studio update. The college station Chase Bryce to Henry Pearson, and App State up 14-7 here, Boog. What's going on with A&M?
Very well-controlled offense. A&M only has 6 first downs in the entire game.
So ensuing kickoff, Devon A-Chain, the sprinter, bye-bye.
They have got to get the ball to their playmakers in the open field at the end of this game.
App State up 17-14 on ESPN2, Sean.
All right, great game there, and we have one here as well. Pittsburgh down by a touchdown. Patty wants to run. Nick Patty lunging for the pylon. There is a flag down. It's ruled a touchdown if it stands.
It's interesting. He wanted to throw to Gavin Bartholomew first. He wasn't there, and then Bartholomew turned into a blocker, and I think that might have been where the hold came from on 86.
During the run, holding, offense, number 5. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Bartholomew was the primary receiver. Jared Wayne's just out there blocking. He's not even looking for a throw.
Wow.
Right there at the end. There's the end. It wasn't a foul until the end, as the defender was trying to get to the ball carrier. That's where the penalty occurred. So
Clearly
much
a penalty, wipes out a touchdown. Puts them back on the 11-yard line. Second and goal. Opening seconds of the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh twice led by 10. Now down by 7. Patty sets, throws, diving attempt incomplete. Donate Mumfield and Jalen McCullough in coverage.
Pretty good place for the ball. Really the only spot he could put it. Mumfield just not able to secure it. Hey, that penalty was huge because now you're third and goal from the 11. I mean, the field shrinks for Nick Patty right here. The defense doesn't have to guard vertical distance. They can squeeze on pass routes.
Interesting if they get some, but not all of the yardage into the end zone. They would try a field goal after 2 misses in this half. Patty sacked! Back at the 17. Byron Young leading the way for Tennessee. And now Patty, who came on at the half after Keaton Slovis, their starter, could not continue into the second half with an undisclosed injury, as he was hit time and time again in the first half. It's Patty who's not getting up.
Byron Young came underneath Carter Warren, and you can see that left leg get kind of twisted back in an unusual way on that sack. Nate Yarnell is the number 3 quarterback listed.
There's Derek Kyler, we believe, warming up. Yarnell listed number 3 on the depth chart with a headset on and is not warming up.
Boy, do you put a new quarterback and a third-team quarterback in to run a 4th down and goal play here, or do you try to kick a field goal?
I think you have to kick a field goal.
I do too. I just think you do. It's too hard of a situation for a starting quarterback on 4th and goal.
Well, Ben Sauls, who won the competition in the preseason for the 3rd-team all-conference kicker of a year ago, Sam Scarton missed 2 quite badly to the left in the 3rd quarter, 46 and 36.
You have to capitalize on your defense getting the turnover, giving you a short field. You move down in the red zone. Hats off to Tennessee's defense. They got tough when they needed to force this 4th down situation, but you got to come away with points. You can't come up empty-handed here.
Well, here's Sauls, as we mentioned, a top kicking prospect out of high school, Tippecanoe High in Ohio. He was all-state, ranked in the top 20 in the country by ESPN and other kicking services. Made his first 2 this season, has missed the last 2. Wow. That one just does knuckleball across.
That ball might have gotten deflected too, because that was very close to being blocked.
Warren Burrell, we believe, who might have gotten a hand on that, and just did get across the crossbar from 35 yards.
Just the way the ball was traveling, it looks like he got a hand on it, but there was enough to get it over the crossbar. 3 points for Pittsburgh.
Well, an excellent job done by the defense for Tennessee again. And it's early in the year, Todd, but they're looking for improvement on defense in Knoxville. Looks like it's a better unit this year. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. We thank All-State again. We've been doing this and donated millions since 2005. So Sauls, who was their kickoff man last year, will kick off again. Jimmy Holiday back deep.
It's a really important possession for Tennessee and Hendon Hooker. Only 49 yards of offense in that 3rd quarter. Neither team scored in the 3rd quarter. But for Tennessee, who had kind of taken control in the 2nd quarter, Pitt's defense kind of had the better of them in that 3rd quarter. So I think this is a big response situation, response drive for Hendon Hooker and the Tennessee offense.
Nick Patty on his feet and walking without the noticeable limp on the Pitt sideline, so that's good news for them. Hendon Hooker's 18 out of 30 for 238 and a touchdown. He has not had an interception. He also rushed for 22 yards. On 1st down, Jabari Small for little gain to the 26-yard line, a pickup of 1.
And this Pittsburgh defense is built to stop the run. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, and they fly downhill. Invite you to take shots.
Hooker throws incomplete. Diving attempt by Tillman. And here comes the crowd back into it.
They have gotten their momentum here, and this is where they're tough on 3rd down. They put a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. 6 or 7 guys, and they can bring pressure from a lot of different angles. When they get you in this position, this is when the Pitt defense is its most exotic.
They gave up 4 passes in the 1st half of more than 20 yards. They've tightened it up. Looking one way, firing the other. And a great effort after the catch. And a 1st down. Broom McCoy caught it right by the marker, went backwards, and had to scurry along the sideline to pick up that 1st down.
It's great by Hooker and McCoy.
Got away from Marquez Williams, who couldn't make a big tackle. Now Williams swings down McCoy. But Tennessee's on the move.
Again, that third down play, Hooker wanted to throw the other way. He came back late to McCoy, got him the football, and McCoy fought for the first down.
Up the middle, Jabari Small has a first down. Tackled by Bengali Kamara.
Good time for a chance to shoot one down the field here. Possibly your slot working on a safety.
Hooker, run fake, catch made into Pitt territory to the 43-yard line. They started that play from the Pitt 49. It was Eric Hallett who made the play on Jalen Hyatt.
That's Tyler Bentley down again for the second time in the ball game. He went out earlier in the first half, came back to play. Of course, Devin Danielson has not returned to action.
And they've played all day without their standout defensive end, Deslin Alexander. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear more driven tonight in prime time on ABC. Number 10 USC against Stanford. Lincoln Riley, a 66-14 winner over Rice in his debut as Trojan coach. The defense had 3 pick sixes. Quick pass, the run after the catch for Hyatt gives them a first down. That's 8 catches for Jalen Hyatt, a career high. Previous was 5 last year against Georgia.
Like this trio of receivers that Tennessee has right now.
Small trying to bounce outside. Managed to get away from the first tackler and turned it into a gain of 1. Tyler Wilkes had him by the jersey but couldn't yank him down, and finally Eric Hallett got Small on the ground. But Baldonado a little slow to get up. They're going to make him come out of the game.
And we talked about at the start of this possession, Sean, how important it was for Tennessee's offense to respond, because the Pitt defense the last 2 or 3 possessions had kind of asserted itself, including the turnover it forced to get them within 4. But Tennessee behind Hendon Hooker has had a lot of poise on this drive. He's been sharp. They've moved the ball into Pitt territory. Now with a 2nd and 10 situation with 11:50 left in the ball game.
And then Hooker handed it off. Jabari Small, the ball carrier. Hooker with 1 touchdown pass today. That's 14 straight games with a TD pass. 2nd longest such streak in Tennessee history. Heath Schuler threw a touchdown in 18 games in a row. Wiltz now limping off. The total number of plays run is just about even. Randy Bates, the defensive coordinator, said we can't be on the field for 90 or 100 plays. They've been on the field for only 66. And Pittsburgh has run 61. It's about a 7-minute time of possession advantage for Pitt. 28 and change to 21 and change.
And again, 3rd down, a critical situation. We're not seeing Tennessee going fast. They're all looking to the sideline. They want to get the right play called in this critical situation to see if they can convert.
On the fringe of field goal range, Small stacked up. Perhaps a yard, and that's all. And now a decision for Josh Heupel to make. Solomon DeShields leading that defensive surge for the Panthers. And they're going to run another play. McGrath has a career long of 52. Their field goal kicker. No thought of that whatsoever. 4th down and 6.
3rd down, I think they thought they'd fool Pitt with the run. Got to believe Hendon Hooker's going to have to throw the football in this 4th down play.
2 receivers to either side. Small, the running back. Small stayed in the block. The pass for Tillman. Diving catch. And he made it with Devonshire draped all over him. In fact, it looked like when the ball was in the air, he might have been holding Tillman, who caught it nonetheless. 8 yards and a first down. From the 25. Up by 4. Hooker took it down. Throws into single coverage, out of bounds, not catchable for Ramel Keaton. The Richard battle in coverage.
We saw in that 4th down play conversion the advantage of the big body of Cedric Tillman working on Devonshire. This part of the field too, you got the big bodies you can run the fade route to, the jump ball type throws. Give those guys a chance. Your big receivers, Tillman and Brew McCoy, working against smaller defenders.
3 receivers left. The rest of it a tight formation. Hooker after the play fake. The slant off the hands of Tillman. A 1,000-yard receiver last year. The first for Tennessee since Justin Hunter. In 2012, he's had a couple they couldn't quite take in today.
That was a catchable ball, but Hendon Hooker could have helped him by not throwing it too far out in front of him as well. Put that right in his body where he can catch it and turn upfield.
17 targets, 10 more than the next most, Jalen Hyatt. Flag down, and they stop the play for a procedure penalty against the Vols.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 87, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Jacob Warren.
You think, okay, that's not a critical penalty, right? 5 yards, but the difference between calling for 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 15, this part of the field, it's huge for Josh Heupel and Alex Golich. And again, Hendon Hooker, it needs to be smart with the football here. You've got the lead. Tough to get everything back with 3rd and 15. Now, if you get press coverage and you get single like you might have right here, you maybe take a shot.
Pitt bringing pressure up the middle. Savassier Dennis, and they sack it. Back at the 34-yard line. It was Dennis, the middle linebacker, coming right up the middle. A well-timed blitz by Randy Bates.
And good coverage downfield as well. The safety made it look like it was going to be single. Watch Brandon Hill. He's going to go over the top and help on the coverage. And Hendon Hooker doesn't have anywhere to go with the football. Tillman falls down, and then down goes Hendon Hooker as well.
And they're going to punt. At least it seems for the moment. Or is it a field goal? No, it's Chase McGrath, the field goal team on the field. His career long, as we mentioned, is 52. That was at USC against BYU. His longest last year for Tennessee, his longest as a Vol, 48. And that was in the loss to Pitt. This would be 51 yards. Plenty of leg, and it is good.
No doubter.
Chase McGrath with Brooks, the punter, with the perfect hold. His longest field goal in 2 seasons as a Tennessee Vol, and a 7-point lead for Coach Heupel and the Vols.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
We're back in Pittsburgh. Here's a look at today's college football rankings, brought to you by Goodyear. Alabama. Texas won on a last-second field goal. Georgia shut out Samford. Ohio State cruised against Arkansas State. Clemson a winner. Michigan will roll against Hawaii tonight for sure. The big news going on at the moment is Texas A&M in trouble at home against Appalachian State.
Hey, you wondered if App State used up all their magic last week in that heartbreaking loss at home to North Carolina. Completely different game today in College Station.
Here's Israel Abanikanda, stopped at the 16-yard line. Well covered again by Tennessee. So solid on special teams. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, you guys mentioned that ESPN2 game right now is Appalachian State just 47 seconds away from knocking off number 6 Texas A&M. Meanwhile, Illinois, that game over on ESPNU. And Anthony Richardson, top of the hour. Florida hosting Kentucky, coming off that monumental major victory against Utah to start the season. And USC, Caleb Williams on the road at the Farm against Stanford. That game on ABC later on the night. Back to you.
Nice debut as a Trojan for Williams. 19 out of 22 last week against Rice. The 1st and 10 Pitt, down by a touchdown.
Previous play is
8:52
under
to
video
go.
review for a potential targeting call.
And Todd, to the big development of the moment, Texas A&M. Boy, is Jimbo Fisher going to be feeling the heat if they lose at home to Appalachian State. Let's see if we can sort out what they're looking for in terms of targeting here. Oh, there it is. Jordan Thomas.
He led with the crown of his helmet. That's target. He's not a defenseless player. Can't lead with the crown.
After the replay review, no targeting against Jordan Thomas, so he can stay in the game. He's primarily a special teams player, 3rd string safety. So the Panthers start from their own 16, Tennessee leading 27-20. 8:52 to go. Nick Patty is the quarterback. He handed it off to Abanikanda, and they drop him for a 1-yard loss.
You know, Sean, statistics are interesting because right now Pitt has more yards than Tennessee. But in critical areas of this ball game, they have not been very good. They only have 1 pass play of over 20 yards. That was the touchdown to Bartholomew. They have 4 of 12 on 3rd down, and 3 times they've been in the red zone, and they've come up empty. So they're gaining yards, but when it matters and when it counts, they've come up short.
Well, a lot of that yardage was on 2 plays. The 76-yard touchdown run by Israel Abanikanda and the 57-yard touchdown by Bartholomew, and 51 of that was run after the catch. They haven't shown the ability to throw the ball down the field at all. They're being very conservative here, deep in their own end with the backup quarterback in. Abanikanda knocked out of bounds near sideline. Here comes 3rd down and about 7. They still haven't spotted the ball yet.
I mean, there's a lot of time left in the football game. It's a 1-score game, but it's hard to go the length of the field without chunk plays, without explosive plays. It's really hard to do that against a decent defense. And Tennessee has played well today on the defensive side of the ball.
Will they come after Nick Patty? They do some twisting up front. The throw's way too high for Mumfield, with coverage provided by Kamal Haddon. Nick Patty now 4 for 11 passing for just 29 yards. After Slovis was 14 out of 24 for 195, a touchdown and an interception in the first half. And Nick Patty is 0 for 4 on 3rd down.
Well, and the problem is his misses have not really been close misses. You know, I mean, he's been very errant on some of those throws and some of those misses. He's going to have to hit some at some point. They're going to have to throw the football to have a chance to win.
Sam Vanderhaar, right-footed punt, and it's muffed! Muffed! And still free! At the 39-yard line, Pittsburgh has it. Trayvon Flowers couldn't take in the punt, and it's the long snapper who ran down there and got it.
Flowers tried to catch it with his hands above his head, bobbled it, and Pitt, for the 2nd time with a turnover.
Rolling on the field is the punt was first touched by the receiving team, recovered by the kicking team. That'll be 1st down Pitt.
By Byron Floyd, the long snapper.
The last time Pitt turned the ball over, or got a turnover from Tennessee, it led to a field goal. They got another turnover from their special teams. They got the short field. They got to find a way to hit a pass play and get the ball in the end zone.
Well, you keep mentioning it, you're right on. The defense and special teams keep giving the Pittsburgh offense opportunities, and they've done very little with them. At the Tennessee 39, Abanikanda dumped at the line of scrimmage. And the crowd booing the play calling now. Aaron Beasley and Tyler Barron dumped Abanikanda.
Tennessee right now, I mean, they are ganging up on the line of scrimmage. They're going to play man because they're not afraid of any of the receivers, and I don't think they believe the quarterback can beat them making tight throws against man coverage. They're going to give Nick Patty an opportunity against coverage to make some throws.
See see why they went aggressively into the transfer portal for a quarterback, not just Slovis. Patty over the middle, lunging attempt and a catch made by Wayne. Outstanding grab by Jared Wayne, the senior from Peterborough, Ontario. Here comes 3rd down and 3. And I would think down by a touchdown, 6.5 to go, Todd. This is 4-down country.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if Pitt knows if they're going to get back in this part of the field again. I mean, their defenses and special teams have given them the opportunity. They've got to capitalize on this drive, and they got to be thinking 2 plays to pick up this 1st down right here.
Davis spins. He's short by about 1.5 yards. Vincent Davis tackled by Wesley Walker in his first year with Tennessee after the last 3 at Georgia Tech. He arrived in June.
Here's the problem, 27-20. If you settled for a field goal, you're still down 4. So you'd still have to score a touchdown the next time you had an opportunity. So that's why you've got to try to capitalize with this field position and convert this 4th down.
No question. Shaky field goal situation, sputtering offense. They need to try to get 7 here. 5.5 to go. They're taking a lot of time as well.
Pittsburgh has called timeout.
And Narduzzi uses his first timeout of this half with 5:29 to go. Back for the conclusion of the Johnny Majors Classic after this. We're back in Pittsburgh for another big play in a game filled with them. Pat Narduzzi going for it on 4th down, about 1.5 yards from the Tennessee 30. 5.5 to go. Tennessee by a touchdown. Patty out of the gun. Abanikanda found a crease. Israel Abanikanda almost broke it. He got knocked down at the 20. It's been a career day for Abanikanda, but the recent results weren't very good. His previous 5 runs went for a total of -3.
Really nice job by the right guard, Cradle, number 53, in the center, Drexel. Big conversion for Pitt.
10-yard gain, nowhere to go that time. Great penetration by the balls to drop Abanikanda for a loss.
What's the difference, you say, between the 4th down run and that run? Tennessee thinking run all the way on that play. 4th and a couple, they had to kind of play both, run or pass, little play action, and they creased them for the 1st down. But on 1st down, Tennessee thinking run all the way, and another tackle behind the line of scrimmage to put Nick Patty and this offense behind the chains again.
Play made by Tyler Barron. A career-high 2.5 tackles for a loss against Pitt last season in Knoxville. Patty with a flag down. Throws over the middle. Caught by Jared Wayne. Wrestled out of bounds at the 14-yard line by Byron Young. Patty limping as he gets up. Flag thrown on the snap.
Shift. Offense. 2 players went in motion prior to the snap, did not reset. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
Nick Patty is definitely gimpy. Shaken up a couple times. Just both quarterbacks. We've seen Keaton Slovis get knocked around. We're seeing Nick Patty get knocked around. Tennessee's defense, a couple big plays in a row. Now again, Pitt way behind the chains on 2nd and long.
Can they make a play in the passing game? One field back and forth in motion. He was open in the flat. It's a screen for Abanikanda. Israel Abanikanda banged out of bounds. They made a play in the passing game with a screen. And Abanikanda continues on his career day.
Watch the left guard, Marcus Minor, number 55, get out in front of this play. Gets a crushing block. And that opened up the way for Abanikanda. Really nice call by Frank Signetti Jr. on the screen on 2nd and long.
For a 21-yard gain.
I think you throw here on 1st down. Tennessee has been loaded up to stop the run on 1st down. Play action and throw the end zone here on 1st down.
1st and goal from the 6. Abanikanda to the 4. Wrestled down by Jalen McCullough, 4-year starter. Owen Drexel, their center, is the injured player now. And Nick Patty really gimpy on the handoff. It's Drexel, fifth-year senior center. Second-year starter down on the ground. From Montclair, New Jersey, Terrence Moore is his backup.
Well, and they're doing a good thing. Nick Patty getting some snaps right now from Terrence Moore, because the worst thing that can happen right now is a bobbled exchange between quarterback and center. Get a backup center in, get some snaps. He's going to be a little bit nervous, and what his blocking assignments are. First things first, and that is get the snap. Whether it's shotgun or under the center, first thing you got to do is secure the snap.
Drexel still down. You wonder what it's like for Frank Cignetti Jr. right now. We've mentioned it a couple times. His dad, the Hall of Fame football coach, Frank Cignetti Sr., passed away this morning. Frank Cignetti Jr. said there was never a question that he would call the plays today, but he has a very heavy heart. He and his dad were extremely close. And now he's trying to call plays without his full arsenal, without his starting quarterback, without really any threat of a passing game, or very little. He's in a difficult spot here calling plays, and somehow they've worked their way down to the 4-yard line. Will step aside. 3:19 to go. 7-point lead for Tennessee. And more losses along the offensive line. They've played without their right tackle, Gabe Hoy, who didn't dress, and now they're starting center. Owen Drexel helped off. 3:19 to go. Second and goal from the 4. Terrence Moore, the backup center, is in. Daniel Carter lines up as a fullback in front of a Banacanda.
7 offensive linemen in.
Trying to power their way in. Nothing doing. Trayvon Flowers up along the line of scrimmage at the bottom of that pile. Jeremy Banks in there again. Third down and goal from the 4. Most certainly 4-down territory now.
Same set. Now you got 7 offensive linemen. These 2 guys on the end are offensive linemen, not tight end.
And whistles, and I believe Josh Heupel called the timeout because he was all the way down inside the 10-yard line on the far sideline.
Tennessee has called timeout. There'll be a 30-second break. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 36 seconds. 2:36. Thank you.
2:36 to go. And Pittsburgh has had chances, Todd, set up by special teams. The punt block by P.J. O'Brien.
The defense ripped the ball out. I mean, we talked about it. Last year they forced 3 turnovers, and that was the difference in the game. Up until that point, they had not been able to knock the ball loose, but 3 times now in the second half, they've got the ball and given it to their offense to try to capitalize.
And we talked about how solid Tennessee was in special teams. A big part of their 7-win season last year that surprised many. But some critical mistakes there, allowing a punt block. Trayvon Flowers, not the most experienced punt returner with the muff.
This is interesting now. Pitt is still in a 7 offensive lineman set. That doesn't mean you can't throw the football.
Good play action fake if you wanted to out of this. That's what it is. Patty throws it to the back of the end zone over the head of Bartholomew, who was double covered.
See, the problem is with that formation, you have 2 eligible receivers. The back out of the backfield and the tight end Bartholomew. But when you wait till 3rd down to do that, Tennessee's thinking pass. You know, if you do that on 1st down, they're not as inclined to maybe think pass, but they were ready for it on 3rd, had both guys covered. Now a more traditional formation here on another 4th down play. Shauna, was a 4th and goal stop by the Pitt defense last year that really changed the game. A 4th and 1 from the 3.
This game is mirrored last year's in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Pat Narduzzi with the play clock running out is going to use another timeout.
That's been called by Pitt. It's 30 seconds in length. It's their second of the half.
It was a 7-point win on the road in Knoxville last year, and here's the play you were talking about.
Yeah, it was 4th and goal from the 3, and Pitt stuffed him. Tennessee got one more shot, down 7. Hendon Hooker was intercepted on their last possession, but the last 2 possessions for Tennessee, they had a chance to tie it, similar to Pitt right now, but a 4th down stop and an interception sealed the victory for Pittsburgh.
7 minutes to go in the game. Pitt up by 7. 4th down and 1 of the 3, and Jalen Wright got stuffed to seal the 7-point win. Boy, it feels like for these Pitt fans, every inch gained on offense is a struggle. Without Slovis, without a couple of their starting offensive linemen now with the backup quarterback in, without playmakers who have really emerged at wide receiver. Can they find a way from the 4? The ball game down to this. Patty under pressure. Back in the end zone. Touchdown! Jared Wayne.
Nick Patty is gimpy. Jeremy Banks had a free run at him, but the quarterback showed toughness, hung in there, and delivered a perfect throw to Jared Wayne in the back of the end zone.
Warren Burrell, the coverage. They'll take a look, make sure it was a catch.
He definitely secured that to the ground. I mean, that was a clear catch.
And now, assuming it stands, the
Ruling
pressure on
is under video
Ben
review.
Sauls. They're going to make sure it was a catch, and that gives Sauls more time to think about the extra point. He's missed 2 field goals in this half. Let's take another look at the catch.
He's inbounds. He's got to secure it all the way to the ground. I don't even see that ball move an inch. I mean, I think he had both hands on it. The ball can hit the ground as long as it doesn't help him make the catch. But watch Patty, under duress, a free rusher on Jeremy Banks. He's basically playing on one leg.
He's a Pitt guy, isn't he?
He's
I mean,
a tough
it's the
Pitt
backup
guy.
quarterback, 5th-year guy from New Jersey.
What a throw. My goodness.
Wow. And Jared Wayne, we talk about who can take the place of Jordan Addison. He's not as good as Jordan Addison, but he's a talented guy. It feels like he could be more, and he was being held there,
Absolutely.
too. He could be more of a focus of their passing game, although they've targeted him 12 times. That's a lot.
After video review, ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Now, I'm just going to say this. In the NFL, pretty much a guarantee, right? Extra point here, nothing's guaranteed in college football. Sunday night, LSU, Florida State, a late, looked like a tying touchdown by LSU, and the extra point was blocked.
Cam guessed the holder. Ben Sauls in his 2nd college football game, right down the middle. A gritty performance by Patty. Clearly, he's playing largely on one leg.
What a throw.
Career backup here. Understudy to Kenny Pickett. Obviously, they felt like they needed a different starter to take Pickett's place. Brought in Keaton Slovis with Patty, the backup. They haven't done a lot in this half. But he's now 7 for 15 for 61 and a huge touchdown on 4th and goal.
Well, if you're Tennessee now and Josh Heupel, Hendon Hooker, 2 minutes and 23 seconds, you've got 2 timeouts, and all you need is a field goal. As a quarterback, I don't care if you're 24 or 14, these are the kind of moments you live for as a quarterback, to be in this position to try to lead your team down the field for a win.
Josh Heupel knows what that was like. National championship winning quarterback at Oklahoma. This is all kinds of time, but as fast as they play and with the timeouts, in a situation where in all likelihood a field goal would win it. They haven't been great on offense in the 2nd half. if you're Pittsburgh. You stick with what you've done forever, right?
You
You're
have
still
to.
playing
That's
single
your
coverage
MO.
out there.
That's your MO.
Daring them to throw it deep.
Now, they will mix in some zone, right? They don't play all man-to-man, but they count on their pass rush to disrupt the play and prevent a quarterback from making accurate throws down the field.
And Hendon Hooker does not turn it over. Now 163 straight pass attempts without an interception. Short set, short throw. But a good gainer on first down. Jalen Hyatt, the junior from Irmo, South Carolina. They're at the 33.
Now, if you're Hendon Hooker, what you can't do right here, you mentioned not throwing an interception. You can't take a sack either. You can't get behind the chains against this Pitt pass rush and get into a 3rd and long. You have to stay in manageable down and distance, and you can't take a sack.
Need to get around the 35-yard line for Chase McGrath, who just kicked his longest field goal as of all. And they're wearing out that short right flat. Jalen Hyatt again.
Again, still plenty of time. 1:53, 2 timeouts. Pitt's playing a little soft coverage, giving them that throw to the slot. And Tennessee just taking it.
And a loss on the play. Hava Baldonado clothesline Jabari Small.
Boy, he closed down on that play quickly. Looked like Jabari Small was going to make the first down easily. And Baldonado got him behind the line of scrimmage.
$59,000 plus, 59,785. Making plenty of noise. Most of the fans around this stadium on their feet. 3rd and 5 in a tie game. 1:17 to go. Hooker escapes. Hooker back across the line, and that's all. Kancey brought the original pressure. Kamara wrestled him down, and now what does Josh Heupel do on 4th down?
I think you punt the football.
I agree.
You know, because look, at this point, if you go to overtime, your quarterback is a veteran, experienced guy. Nick Patty is a backup, and he's hobbling right now, right? So you play the percentages of my guy in overtime. Let's be smart here and punt the football and see if we can get the game in overtime.
Servassier Dennis is the injured player. Outstanding player on their defense, all conference a year ago.
That's a hard ask to ask your center, Cooper Mays, to snap the football and then block Kancey. Kancey ran right by him to the quarterback and forced Hooker to leave the pocket.
He went head over heels at the end of the play. I almost wonder if this is a cramp for Dennis. They've defended 76 Tennessee snaps. Pitt's run 74 plays. It's 4th down and a long 3 upcoming for Tennessee in a tie game with 1:03 to go in regulation.
Now that was the play of the drive for the Pitt defense, because that was 2nd down. They pushed them back, forced a 3rd and longer situation, and then they were able to flush Hooker out of the pocket.
Still working on Dennis. They certainly can't afford to lose him.
This Pitt defense prides itself on what they call havoc plays, interceptions, sacks, tackles for loss, passes defended. They didn't have a bunch of them in the first half, but the second half they have really risen to the occasion. Played to their reputation.
Might have been cramping for Dennis, senior from beautiful Syracuse, New York. And a team captain, 2nd team All-ACC last year as they won the conference title. Their first outright conference title, their first 11-win season since 1981. And they had their 3rd straight 11-win year under Jackie Sherrill.
And quite possibly the coolest name in college football, Servassier.
No question. So they are going to punt. They've had one blocked. Panthers need to make sure they don't jump offside on 4th and 3. Paxton Brooks to punt. The block in the third quarter, just the second he's had sent back. Donate Mumfield, the return man, back at the 10-yard line. Very little breeze. What little there is into the face of Paxton Brooks. They're going to let the play clock run all the way down. Pittsburgh not going to stop it.
Again, Josh Heupel was thinking overtime right here. Let's just get this punt out. Come up with a couple plays on defense. I can't imagine that Pat Narduzzi will be ultra aggressive here with under 30 seconds left in the ball game. He's going to play for overtime as well.
Wasn't a very good punt, but they got a nice bounce. My other question would be, Todd, why snap it with 9 seconds to go? You're clearly running the clock down. Why not take it the rest of the way down? They kicked it, snapped it to the punter with 9 seconds. It doesn't matter now. This is almost certainly going to be a knee. Tennessee could stop it twice, but couldn't stop it after a third down play. You're very likely heading for overtime.
There's one thing to remember. It is the backup center in the ball game. Even though it looks like they're going to take a knee, it's Terrence Moore, the center in for the starter, Owen Drexel. So they still have to get the snap.
They do. Will Tennessee make them snap it again? Doesn't appear that they will. Josh Heupel and Pat Narduzzi, both sons of college head coaches. Bill Narduzzi at Youngstown State, Ken Heupel at Northern State in South Dakota, where Josh grew up. They chose to be in this profession. Their stomachs must be active right now in Pittsburgh.
Over on ESPN, Florida up 3-0 against Kentucky. ESPN2, Oklahoma State, Arizona State set to kick off. USC and Lincoln Riley at Stanford. Scheduled kick 7:44 Eastern on ABC. If our game continues in Pittsburgh, USC Stanford will move over to ESPN News. Sean, back to you.
All right, it's already been a crazy day of college football, and the Johnny Majors Classic is heading to overtime here in Pittsburgh. Usually if you win the coin toss, you elect to go
Captains,
on defense
well played
first.
game. We're going to go to overtime. We'll do the same coin toss. Tennessee, you'll make the call. You'll have a choice of offense, defense, or which end of the field, whoever wins. You ready? Call it before I flip it. He's called heads. This is heads. This is tails. It is tails. You have won. You're going to defer. Which you're going to play down here. That scout, turn this way if you would, please. Tennessee be an offense. First down at the jumbo end score.
So here we go to overtime. Pittsburgh had an overtime game last year here against North Carolina, which they won on an interception that sealed it by M.J. Devonshire. That was on November 11th. And Tennessee finished its season year one under Josh Heupel with an overtime loss to Purdue, 48-45 in the Music City Bowl, to finish at 7-6. For those who aren't familiar with the overtime rules in college, already had the coin toss. Each team gets one possession from the 25-yard line through the first two overtimes. Then you must go for a two-point conversion after a touchdown. Starting with the third overtime, it's just two-point plays. They try to prevent the game from going on and on and on and increasing the likelihood of injuries. So it'll be Tennessee first. And a rather stagnant second half, Todd, on offense for Hendon Hooker and company. They start with Jabari Small on the left hip of Hooker. Design run for Hendon Hooker, and a good one. 7-yard gain down to the 18-yard line. Stopped there by David Green.
Yeah, good first play in the overtime. You want to get off to a good start. Again, negative plays have hurt both of these offenses here in the second half. That's a great way to start overtime for Tennessee.
Dennis is on the field, that middle linebacker. A design run for Hooker again. Hendon Hooker, there's a flag down in the backfield. He's in the end zone for an 18-yard touchdown. But there's a flag down.
Offense, number
My
54.
goodness.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
We got Gerald Mincy, the left tackle. And I don't think he needed to hold because I think Hooker was already outside the play when the penalty occurred. Watch 54 going to show up in the left of your screen. There's the hold. I'm not sure that John Morgan would have gotten to Hendon Hooker. Well, Mincy is a transfer from Florida. Made his first start at Tennessee a week ago. And after that great first down play, a costly penalty on second down and now second and long.
He was a reserve at Florida the last 2 years. The only lineman they lost off their O-line last year's Cade Mays, the tackle, who was drafted by Carolina. A huge penalty, the 7th on Tennessee. They're back at the 28, still in field goal range. Hooker throws, end zone, touchdown! Cedric Tillman just bodied up, established position, and it dropped right into his lap with Devonshire in coverage.
Well, and it was also a job by Hendon Hooker not to panic and leave the pocket. He just climbed the pocket. Watch Hendon Hooker. He doesn't have anything right away. But instead of going outside, he just climbs up in the pocket, and then he sees his big receiver bodied up and gives him a chance to make a play.
Cedric Tillman with Devonshire riding him most of the way. Devonshire could never get in front. Tillman used that 6'3", 215, and Chase McGrath adds the extra point. So a 7-point lead for Tennessee, and now Pitt must score a touchdown and add the extra point to extend the game.
And the question is, who's going to play quarterback for Pitt on their overtime possession?
It's Patty. He has the helmet on. Looking at his play sheet on his wristband.
Cedric Tillman, 1 catch for 20 yards a year ago in Knoxville against Pitt. Today, 9 catches, 162 yards, and that touchdown in overtime.
It could have been bigger, a couple off his hands.
Right.
But he is a stud at wide receiver. Jared Wayne made the play when they needed it at the end of regulation to tie the game. They're going to spread 3 receivers to the right of Patty. Abanikanda, the running back, with a career-high 155. And they're ready for him. They weren't fooled by the spread. Aaron Beasley dropped him for a loss.
Perfect timing by Beasley. He was coming from the backside linebacker on a run blitz. A lot of times you think you only blitz guys against the pass. Tennessee is run blitzing now on first down because they're anticipating that Pitt's going to throw or run on first down the majority of the time.
Nick Patty, the backup quarterback. 5th-year senior, only 2 career starts. Came in to start the second half when Slovis could not continue. Under pressure, gets it off, and it is caught. Wound up as a back shoulder throw to Jared Wayne. Inbounds, 8-yard line, 1st and goal. Tyler Barron with immediate heat on Patty.
And again, Patty just drifts to his left enough to give himself space, and then the back shoulder throw to the most dependable receiver today. Was the foot down?
Looked like the heel might have been on the sideline.
Ruling of a catch for a first down is under video review.
Looked like his right heel came down on the sideline. I guess the question is the left foot down first? Doesn't appear to be. Let's bring in our rules expert, Matt Austin, as we look at it from the progressive pylon camera.
From the view I've seen so far, I agree with you. I think the heel was out of bounds before the other foot touched down. But that's awful close.
Yeah.
He's kind of dragging the left foot along the ground.
And Matt, if that toe is off the ground when he makes the catch and then the heel comes down, it would still be a catch, correct?
Well, if the other foot's in bounds, then yes.
Well, the crowd just saw a replay they think demonstrates that this should be a catch. His left toes are on the ground. I guess the question is, does he have possession of the ball, Matt, before the right heel comes down?
That's exactly the question, yes.
Do you see enough to overturn this? The call on the field was a catch. Well, we'll find out.
After video review, the ruling is an incomplete pass. The receiver's toe came down inbounds and the heel was out of bounds in one motion. It'll be third down from the 28-yard line.
Everything excruciating when Pitt has had the ball on offense here in the second half. They managed to get to overtime. They need to do a lot of work now. Third down and 13, 4-down territory for sure.
Nick Patty, because of that, he's got to be thinking at least half the yardage here on this third down play. Give yourself a chance on 4.
They're just 4 out of 15 on third down in the game. He moves and throws short of the first down, but to your point, Todd, they got it to be much more makeable, about 5.5 after the catch by Means. Fourth down, and they spot the ball right on the 20, so they need 5 to keep the game going.
The guy who has been Mr. Dependable for Frank Cignetti's offense, whichever quarterback is playing, has been Jeremy Wayne. Jared Wayne, he's the guy, number 5, the big-bodied receiver. It looks like he's going to be in the slot at the top.
Frank Cignetti's called a lot of plays in his life. I doubt there are more that have been more meaningful than this for him. Over the middle.
Wow, what a throw.
Slant, a beautiful pass by Patty. A good catch by Mumfield. And it's a first down to the 10-yard line.
Watch the tight end clear out the middle coverage. That opened that window. And a good timing throw by Patty. Seen that a couple times. Tight end draws middle coverage away, opens up the window for the slant, and Patty with a big-time throw. Now they can go back to the run.
Couple of substitutes on that offensive line. Abanikanda ran into some traffic, managed to get 2. Trayvon Flowers in on the play for Tennessee. Tillman the go-ahead touchdown here in overtime, but all that he can do is watch. Extra offensive lineman in there again, Ryan Jacoby. Play fake. Patty retreating. Throws for the corner of the end zone. Out of bounds. Wasn't catchable for Mumfield. A throwaway by Patty with Tyler Barron bringing pressure yet again. He's been terrific down the stretch, the junior from Knoxville.
I've been impressed with Tennessee's defense. I mean, we knew Pitt's defense, what they're all about. A lot of veteran guys. Tennessee's defense needed to take a big step up this season. I'm impressed by their athleticism, and I think they've played, even though they've given up 27 points, they've played much better than they did at most times last year.
2 plays to get 8 yards. Abanikanda whiffed on the block, and Patty goes down way back at the 27-yard line. They brought a blitz with Trayvon Flowers. And it looked like Abanikanda didn't know what he was supposed to do.
Well, what the back has to do is you have to abort the fake. If you're the back and you're supposed to fake and you see a safety blitz, you have to forget the fake and pick up the safety. It's too late if you try to make the fake and then go get the block. Nick Patty can't even throw the football away. And now it's 4th and forever.
They spotted it back on the 21-yard line. So here it is. 4th and goal from the 21.
You have the back staying in to protect, right? And you want to sell the fake, but once you see that blitz, you can't fake. You got to get rid of the fake and just go pick up your man and give your quarterback a chance.
They brought a lot of pressure today, as Tim Banks, give him credit. You know, there have been a lot of men running free against the veteran offensive line. 25 quarterback pressures, the most in the last 10 seasons for the Volunteer defense.
Well, and the guys running free, for the most part, a lot of the times are working against backs and tight ends, and not so much the front 5. but they have brought timely pressures all day.
They want to take the next step. They need to be better on defense. They surprised many when they won 7th last year. Josh Heupel's first year with reduced scholarship numbers after the NCAA investigation forced the departure of Jeremy Pruitt. That is still to be unfolded. Well, they're talking about competing to get to Atlanta and play for an SEC championship. They believe they're that good. And they went on the road against number 17. Last play, incomplete. Diving attempt by Mumfield. It wouldn't have mattered even if he caught it. He was short of the end zone. Tennessee wins the Johnny Majors Classic in overtime. And you said it, Todd, overtime favored Tennessee. More playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, including that terrific quarterback, Hendon Hooker. Here's Molly.
Coach, a back and forth battle that went into overtime. What kind of poise did you see from Hendon Hooker?
How about that effort from our defense, man? Third quarter offensively, we didn't do anything, man. Dominant performance from them for most of the second half. We said we had to come in here and compete for 60 minutes. It's a good football team. And, man, our kids did it at the very end.
You said at halftime this game would come down to your receivers winning those one-on-one matchups. What was the plan for that Cedric Tillman touchdown?
We didn't win many in the third quarter. We won the one in overtime. Those guys just continuing to compete, man, and battle and fight. And just, from where we took over and how we've grown as a football program, learning how to compete. It ain't ever going to be perfect, man. There's a lot of things we're going to learn from, but, man, what a victory for this program.
Yeah, this time last year, this game didn't go your way. It's obviously emotional for you, this win. What are you feeling right now?
The growth of our program, our guys, and there's a lot of things that we got to get corrected coming out of this one, but, man, the fight, the strain, the ability to compete for 60 minutes, man. Offense, defense, special teams. What the defense did in the second half was special, man. That's a big-time effort.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, he said, we visited yesterday, we are rolling. That is the word he used. And they rolled a victory here. Plenty of orange-clad fans made the trip to support them in their first game ever in the state of Pennsylvania, the first in the Northeast since 1998. What a game. Tennessee a winner in overtime, 34-27. For Molly McGrath, Todd Blackledge, our great crew led by Josh Hoffman and Scott Johnson. Sean McDonough, so long from Pittsburgh. Rest in peace, Frank Signetti Sr. Back to the studio.